RANTCAST. All right, we're back on the RANTCAST. This is episode 61, titled Too Cold to Be Angry, First Light at the End of the Tunnel. And unfortunately, our co-host, Strange Bus, is having some issues. We're not sure if he's going to be able to get back on tonight. But in the meantime, I am sending the invite out. If you're watching us live on twitch.tv/hero, I almost said HeroQuest fans, the RANTCast Podcast. Got to remember what show I'm on. Twitch.tv/TheRantCastPodcast. Podcast. We are live, and if you want to go to the HeroQuest fans Discord, hop into Quest Talk voice channel. You can talk with me as a guest. We'll be happy to have you on. We've done it before. We've had a good time. But yeah, Strange Bus sends his regrets until such time as he can get back on here. So we might have a shorter show tonight. And it's really cold out there. So hope you're staying warm. Hope you're staying safe. And yeah, there may be some lines down out there. So be careful. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, hopefully the flames of anger can keep us all warm. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we were ready to do the show, and we ran into some snafus, and that's where the real anger comes from. That's where the real rage. It's like everything's great, and then you're like, no. Like YouTube sent me all these notifications saying like, oh, this video is not doing this correctly, and I'm like, ah. Oh. But they make it so catastrophic. It's like, oh, your video has been removed. It's been blocked. It's like, what? And then you read it, and it's like, oh no, actually, it hasn't. It's just the algorithm detected this link that's like not good or something. It's like, okay. So apparently one of the people whose music we've been using, I guess one of their links is considered a scam. So I'm like, okay, that's not cool. I mean, I don't know what these people do in their off time, but I just assume, hey, they've got royalty-free music. They let us use it. We're going to use it. So anyway, we're getting that fixed. But yeah, I took down the link that they said was bad. I think something weird like that happened another time. Somebody, like we used a piece of art. It's like it was on a DeviantArt account, and one of their curated playlists had some not safe for work stuff. So it's like, okay, so you got to take the whole link down because somewhere else on the website is a section that you have to log in to view that's not family friendly. So it's like, okay, all right, well, we'll take that down. We're not about that either. So yeah, it happens. That's the life of a streamer, of a creator, I guess, is what happens. Unless you create everything yourself and properly vet it through all the proper channels. But yeah, we're on a budget here, so we do what we can. We're not trying to cross any lines. But you know who has crossed the line? It's the Frozen Horror out here. Oh yeah, all the comments. Yeah, all you guys. So we got Rob Champ, we got GravandaleGames, Bohemyus, Joe Kozier, RANTCAST. See, there's no noise cancellation now. Yeah, you know who has crossed the line though? Pokemon fans, or at least some customers associated with the Pokemon brand. Normally, I feel like we're always ranting about the companies making stupid decisions, making predatory deals, screwing over their customers. Well, apparently some customers have been doing some wild stuff, but don't take my word for it. We're bringing the receipts. I've got a news article. I got some commentary. There's lots of commentary. So we can get started on that, and then maybe we can get into some HeroQuest. I don't have a ton of new stuff for HeroQuest, but we can always talk about First Light. I mean, Hispazargon on Yield In is trying to gather a list of changes, alterations, differences. So he has that great errata thread that shows some of the questionable text in the new HeroQuest, stuff that people wonder about that might be mistakes. So I think we have a pretty good handle on what their intentions were for First Light, but there's some spots where people are saying, well, this doesn't quite make sense. Like, did you change this? And it's like, no, we didn't change it. Oh, we maybe made a mistake here or there. So we can talk about that. Then there's also the topic of the Dungeons and Dragons virtual slot machines, which a lot of passionate videos have been made about that. And I thought, oh, it'd be great to have Strange Bus on here to talk about it, but until he can get back in, I don't know how far that conversation is really going to go. I feel like I've said what I wanted to say about it, but there could be more. So if you're a big D&D fan, how do you feel about the brand being used that way? And other than that, we don't have a whole lot for tonight. So let me douse the flames here. We can get some flames going of our own. And I'll have to kind of readjust the windows here. Okay, just a moment, bear with me. And yeah, like I said, if any guests want to join us tonight, like I said, we'll be happy to have you. You don't have to show your face, but we can get your opinions. And we're listening to the sounds of Karl Casey at White Bat Audio. Check out his stuff on YouTube. Let's see here. There's our label there. We're missing our microphone. Sorry, folks. Last minute stuff here. Another good thing, though, I am working on getting everything converted to Spotify. It's taken a little longer than I thought it would. There's a lot of little things to do here and there, but it's getting done. And eventually what we'll have is we'll have a complete archive, or as complete as we can make it, starting with the oldest episodes and then adding new ones onto the top, so it'll be nice and orderly. And we'll try to edit things out so you're not just sitting there listening to our break music and so forth. But it may be just a little bit rough starting. But that's how it is whenever you make a change. So we'll still continue to do what we do. We'll still continue to record stuff on Twitch initially, do those live shows that we love to do. There's our mic. Well, there's one of the mics. We'll continue to do the premiere stuff on Twitch, then it'll go to YouTube, and then it'll go to Spotify. And once we're caught up with everything on Spotify, then it'll be easier to kind of keep things updated. It's like, which one do I want here? All right, we'll just go to our window. Okay. So lots of people are commenting. So we've got Penguin Zero, aka Moist Critical. He's got a video up. We're not going to play all these videos. Clownfish TV did one. There's like lots of people commenting about the Pokemon nonsense. So, okay, so this is Total Pro Sports. As usual, when we grab these sites, we're not saying, hey, everything they say is correct and awesome, but just this particular story. So let me just dim the music here a little bit. Okay, so thanks once again to Karl Casey. So video, insane brawl breaks out at Costco over Pokemon cards as fans make serious accusations against those involved. I just want to say for the record, I don't shop at Costco. I'm not judging anybody that does. I'm not a Pokemon player. It was kind of after my time. I've got family members who love it still and collect it and don't go too crazy over it. So I'm sure most Pokemon fans are normal. It's just a thing. But some people take it too far. So Pokemon is one of the most popular franchises the last few decades. They've created blah, blah, blah. Okay, we know all this. Okay. Pokemon cards are now causing fights. A ton of Costco members brawled. Oh, yeah. This is Caden Harty on Total Pro Sports. So you can look up the article if you want. A ton of Costco members brawled in the viral YouTube video over some newer edition cards. The cards are known as Prismatic Evolutions, ETBs, and they're worth losing their Costco memberships over. They can be seen knocking over entire TVs to get the cards. It's absolutely wild. Okay, so we're quoting somebody who's quoting somebody else. We go down the rabbit hole. So this is the video. Pokemon scalpers fight at Costco over Pokemon 151 boxes. Okay, well, let's play the video.
Do not run! No running!
No running.
No running!
Thanks for trying.
No!
Okay, people are running the course. Well, nothing too unusual. Okay, now people are knocking huge boxes over.
Oh my god.
Like, who cares? Break that TV and let's get that cardboard. I mean, some of these cards are pretty valuable. All right, shoving, dropping stuff. Okay, I don't think that's the entire video, but I mean that's what was shown. So yeah, people being stupid. In the comments, some fan of the Pokemon trading card are alleging that either one or both of these guys are scammers. The unfortunate issue is that these comments may be accurate. This is the article again. Fans are constantly complaining about how these scalpers are inflating prices. It's this again. After everything is said and done, the fact that people are scalping Pokemon is an unfortunate thing to think about. Even just seeing the links some people will go for cards is mind-blowing. Whatever the case may be, it's a net positive for Pokemon. I don't know about that. So that's this guy's opinion. Um, I don't know. I guess when I see stuff like this, I just think of anything else. Like if it's people at McDonald's, going for the Szechuan sauce. If it's people at Black Friday, like trampling each other. It's like I get it. Mobs can get out of control. People can just start acting crazy and weird over just stuff that really isn't that important. I mean, it's not like you're trying to get bread to feed your family or something. It's just, yeah, there's a product. Everybody seems to want it. It's worth a lot of money. And you see other people shoving and running. And so you start doing that too. And it's just group behavior. But it's embarrassing, I think. I mean, I don't know. It's, I guess the thing about Pokemon is it's so popular and mainstream. Like when you see this, you don't think, oh yeah, I don't want to be associated with that because that's what those people are like. Just like if you saw some Star Wars fans doing something really stupid, you'd just be like, well, yeah, there's millions and millions of people. That's just a tiny, tiny fraction. So that's kind of my reaction to it. I know anybody can do that. Hey, we got some people in. I see Bohemyus. I see PureVessel. Hey, welcome to the RANTCast.
Hello.
Hey. So,
Hello.
did you guys get your Pokemon cards from Costco?
Yeah, if you really you look closely, okay, in the video, I'm there in the first line. Oh, I'm joking.
Yeah, he was throwing elbows.
No,
Got one guy in a headlock, but man, he got out of there with some valuable Pokemon. Let me tell you.
yeah, free wrestling.
Yep. So I think it's easy here to blame these folks and say, yeah, they're overreacting, going crazy over some product. But does the store share any blame in this, or does the company? Like, are they like basically egging these people on, making a fertile ground for them to behave badly, or would you think this is just like an isolated incident, and not anything to get worried about?
Uh, I would say it's definitely not the store's fault. As somebody who's stood in line for like a GPU that came out, like a giant line around Best Buy. Our Best Buy people, like they're good people, and they were like, "Hey, if y'all behave cordially, we can keep doing this. But as soon as y'all mess up, we're gonna shut it down." So I don't think it has
Yeah.
anything really to do with the store.
hmm Well, and then you can hear her saying, no running, no running.
Yeah,
It,
she tried.
yeah,
Bless her heart.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's like they're not prepared. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess I don't work in retail, but if I did and I was a manager and I knew this was going to happen, I'd be tempted just not to do it because I think, is it really worth the damage to these products and possibly lawsuits and fights? Do I have to call the cops? Like all these other things just to get like a few more sales. Like
Of course, yeah.
I'd shy away from it. Now, if
And
I
and I'm
thought I could,
surprised it's
yeah, go ahead.
Pokemon cards. just because I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but me and my friends we have they have like a new app. It's like all moved online now. So
Yeah,
I don't know. People are running in for digital or physical cards is a little
yeah,
strange.
yeah, yeah. Because when you start with something that's physical, you think that's what it is. It's like digital baseball
Hmm.
cards. It's like what? Now the whole point is that you can hold it in your hand and turn it over and put it in an album. And I guess if you just,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a whole different thing. But
No,
if
I got
it,
you.
it, I, it makes a certain amount of sense though. If your main reason for being in it is making money, and you can trade the digital stuff the same way you can the physical stuff, or maybe even easier, it might make sense. Like if I'm not in it for the characters and the story and the nostalgia from, this
That
thing when
makes
I was
sense.
a kid, it's like, yeah, just oh yeah, let's go in there, let's make some money. I mean, I feel like I was insulated from a lot of this growing up. I didn't see it a lot. I thought it was weird because I knew a guy and it was like he was playing video games like all the time. It's like okay, that's not too crazy. I mean, lots of people my age, 40s, early 50s would like play video games, but it's like as a hobby or for fun or whatever. But he was specifically creating characters in a game that people would buy and like play. So it's like he would get like a character to a really high level and then just sell it. It's like that kind of sucks because then you got people that have like no skill at all, just buying like high level
Yeah.
characters to compete, quote unquote, and you're playing the game all the time, but you're not having fun. You're just grinding. You're just grinding away. You can't even enjoy the game. You can't play for fun because you're spending all your time just leveling up these characters with these repetitive tasks. I was like that, but I mean, you get paid for it, so it's like okay, so it's just a job now. It's not a hobby.
Yeah.
It's not for fun. It's just yeah. But you're turning something that was a fun hobby and turning it into a job. I don't know.
Well, I think in some use cases, like that one, when it's a video game, it's like, well, they might be really good at that video game, so they turn it something. I
Yeah,
feel like people who are really good at something should probably turn it into some form of work.
sure. Like if you're a Twitch streamer and you want people are impressed
Yeah.
by what you do in
There
the
you go.
game. Yeah. And I suppose I don't know. I not to well, so we had to ban talk of Elon Musk from our HeroQuest fans Discord because people were
Yeah, I saw
using it
that.
as a, and it's like I hate having to do stuff like that, but it's like certain people want to use
Hmm.
it as a springboard to like rant about their politics, and like
Yeah.
implicate people, and it's like, well, if you think this way, you're scum, and it's like, okay, that's not what we're trying to create here. But I
Hmm.
did think it was funny because a while back people were talking about Elon Musk because he was playing some game and he had like a character that pretty much everybody just assumed he just bought.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, he's rich, he can do that, but that's not a thing to like flex over. It's like,
Hmm.
I will admit for myself, let me just say this and feel free to jump on me. So if anybody remembers Marvel versus Capcom 2 for the Dreamcast, anybody? Fighting game?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? So that game was really fun, and I played it a lot on my Dreamcast to like unlock the characters. But at a certain point, I got tired of it. I was like, I just want all the characters. Like, I don't want to beat the game like 57 million times just to unlock them. So I went online just to see like, was there like a file you could download that would had everything? And there wasn't. But there was a guy on eBay that was selling a memory card that had all the characters on it. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird because it's like you can't really sell the file, but he sold the disc that the file was on. So I was like justifying it to myself, saying, "Oh well, I'll just do this, and then when I bring the game over with my friends, I can play it." And so I did it, and it was like, okay, I've got everything unlocked, and I'd unlocked most of it, but this guy had done the work, and it's just like, okay, now looking back on that, naive me who did this, thinking of all those games that have, they deliberately design the game in such a way so that you're supposed to grind out to unlock everything, but then they give you a little shortcut and say, hey, psst, you want to pay a fee, you can just have it all like right at the start. And then it's like if you're competitive at all about the game, now the pressure is on for you to buy it so that you don't have to grind it out, so that you're already at that level with other people And it's like, okay, that's a slippery slope, and I can see why people fall for it, and I can see why companies do it, but I don't like it. Go ahead.
Did you say that was? Did you say that was Capcom who sold that?
No, not Capcom. It was just a guy, just a fan. So
Oh,
somebody
I
else
gotcha.
either
Hmm.
spent however many hours unlocking every single character and costume for the game, which back in those days you couldn't pay for it. You'd have to do it the
Mhm.
old-fashioned way, or unless he like used some kind of hex editor or cheat finder and like did it that way and like hacked it
Or
away.
just, or maybe done it once and then like somehow copy the file into multiple
Yeah.
different.
Well, once you get the
Yeah,
files,
yeah, but you need
you can
the
do it.
physical memory card in the period. So
Yep.
you have
Mhm.
to sell the value of the memory card plus the files.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I didn't pay any insane amount, but I mean it was a little bit marked up. It wasn't just the price of a regular memory card. And I had lots of memory cards, so it's like I was like, well, I can use this anyway. Again, justifying it to myself. But still, I could have been like Elon, and I could have been like, hey, look at my awesome, setup here. I've got everything. It's like, did you really do that? No, I didn't. But I guess
Yeah,
people
but
could
it's
have
kind
thought
of what
that.
they're doing in all video games right now. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you can start the game and play, and more or less in all games there's like a package to give you like a boost.
Hmm.
Go
Season pass or
a
whatever.
little further. For example,
Yeah.
some people, okay, depending on how is the season pass, you can just
Hmm.
you still have to play the season pass in some game the season pass where you have access to that content,
Hmm.
but
Mhm.
to unlock the stuff for the season pass, you still have to play. I told you, it depend on the game you're playing. But
I'm,
I understand that also because a lot of people work and don't have the time
Yep.
to play. A lot of
yeah.
people have so
Your free time is
you can
different.
cater to both. You can cater to both the people that they have a lot of time and they can just play and unlock everything, or just have money and you don't have time, but the little time you have, you don't want to grind. You want to just play.
Yeah.
So
Well, and the guy I knew was his attitude. It was just like, hey, somebody wants this high level character, but they don't have time to grind it out. They got a job and a family and all this. They just want to play casually occasionally. Of course, they're not going to I mean, it's not going to work that way because when they go online, they're going to be like matched up with other high level people, and they don't have the experience. They just have a high level character. But yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense. Like the adult pass, basically. That's something else. Don't look that up. But grown up, grown up boost or whatever. I
So this wasn't like a strictly online game, or
the one that in the example, yeah, it was
Mhm.
an online game. I'm not gonna say the
I
name of the
gotcha.
game, but yeah,
Gotcha.
it was not a game that I played. I think it was like a mobile competitive game, but it was like, yeah. So it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't cheating in the sense that like you were automatically ranked, but I mean, you had a high
Yeah.
level character, so in
Yeah,
theory,
it's like Smash. I'm a bit younger, but
yeah,
yeah, like Smash Brothers.
okay,
You have to unlock a bunch of characters to play with those characters online, but you don't start with all of them.
yeah, and I feel like you can design a game such that it's so annoying and so anti-competitive until you get to that level that you're pressured into getting the pack or whatever.
Absolutely.
And that's what I don't like. Back in the day, I feel like we did similar things in the sense that like we would get like fighting games like on consoles. And some of them, yeah, you had to unlock certain characters. Like I'm thinking of Soul Calibur or yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You wanted to have those other characters to play with your friends, but you didn't have them yet and you didn't have the time. So yeah, you looked for somebody with a memory card, or you. I remember back in the day we had the Game Genie. It's like okay, so you buy this product that was not endorsed by Nintendo, and you plugged it into your console so that you could just have everything at the start because you didn't have time to just sit there and go, okay, I'm gonna play the game for 10 hours while you watch, and then we'll have that character that we can both use.
Hmm.
So it's just like you just put the codes in, you cheated, and it's like you didn't feel bad like, well, I cheated myself because it's like, no, no, this is for a specific purpose. Like I've enjoyed the game my own way, but like this allows me that thing. Uh, I guess a contrary example. When I was much younger, I really had never played like a Japanese RPG, and I had the Sega Genesis, and I was gifted a copy of Phantasy Star 2, And it's a game like I never would have bought for myself because I just go, oh, that looks boring. It's, I always liked action games. It's like an RPG. It's like, what's that? But um, it was a friend of the family that got it for me, and she like I found out later it came with a hint book that told you like where everything was, and she threw that out like on purpose so that I would have to like discover the stuff for myself. So it's like, oh, she was kind of a purist, it's like you have the fun of the discovery. Whereas you could just be like, oh yeah, go left, and then go right, and then go over there, and there's the secret, and then you go the other direction, and then use this weapon here, and just like it's a complete walkthrough. Of course, in a later era, it was like a game would come out, and like the strategy guide would be right there, like right next to it. So it's like you've got the game, you've got the complete walkthrough, and that's an assistance. And I suppose it's different than paying to unlock something because it's like, okay, you paid to buy the book, but you could like just keep the book on hand until you get stuck, and then, oh, that's how I do it, and then you put the book away, and then you keep on playing, and you have fun. Or you could just pour over it, and you could just follow it step by step, and just like mechanically go through it with like no trouble. So
I like that.
different ways of doing the same thing. Of course,
I
now,
like I like having the option.
yeah. Well, nowadays you can
There was a
look things up. Game Facts
yeah.
was the thing.
Yeah, the Nintendo, the Wii Sports Mix, or the Mario Sports Mix, um, it was like a semi-online game, and they had you hit a bunch of buttons on the Wii remote, and it would just unlock everything. And as kids, like
Yeah.
I was a kid at the time, I was like, I don't want to earn this stuff. Like we just want to play with everybody. So
Yeah.
that's I like having the option.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like the purism goes away when it's just you got your friends together for a short time, and it's like we just want to
hmm
play with all the options.
hmm
Excuse me. Um, Trying to stay hydrated here. It's really dry with the heat cranked way up. But I mean, I'm grateful I've got heat here. Okay.
Yeah, our power was flickering for a second. We were like freaking out.
Yeah. So if we lose our power here, sorry. Um, yeah. So let's see. Got some comments in the chat here. Grown ass adults acting like fools. Yeah. What else is new, Joe? I hear ya. Rob Champ says, yeah, it's people being people, consumerism. I feel like it's becoming a very hyper individualistic society, or at least at times humans are awesome and horrible all at the same time. Driving is the worst lately. Yeah, for sure. They could limit it per customer. Yeah. Yeah, I say plenty of bad things about scalping in general. And I guess not in this case, but in some cases I feel like some companies do encourage this sort of behavior. Not like they're wanting people to fight and break things, but just they deliberately limit the supply, or they're not very careful about it, and they don't care that like most people are not going to who want their product are not going to be able to get it, and are going to be forced, quote unquote, to buy ones that are scalped because they know people are going to go in and just like grab everything and leave, and then you're going to go online and pay way more for it. Joe's, yeah, limiting per customer is possible. I mean, it's not perfect because you could bring 5 of your friends and like everybody buys 3 copies and then you put it all together. But yeah, or if it's online, you have you have your 10 credit cards and you put one on each one. I mean, yeah, but it's still it's harder than just saying, oh yeah, how many are in stock? 50? Okay, I bought them all, and I'm gonna flip them. Joe says, I used to play a pros game called Zork. Oh, yeah. I never played Zork. I'd always heard good things about it. I did pretty good on my own up to a point, but when I was a stock, I found a hint book and it made the game so much more enjoyable. Yeah, creating scarcity. Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. And sometimes there's a little bit of satisfaction with cheating at a game that I feel like has stopped being fun, but I just want to finish it. So there were some NES games that were like that. I was much more of a Sega guy as a kid, but I played a lot of NES. And so my friends all had Nintendo, and it's like those games were frustrating to me because the problem was they owned the game and they would play it all the time and they would master it and they'd invite me over, and it's like I'm just learning the game right then and there, and it's like I can't keep up. Or I would rent the game and play it at home. And it's like I'm trying to beat it in like 2 nights or whatever Blockbuster gave, 2 or 3 nights.
Blockbuster games were the best.
Yeah, make the Blockbuster
Going to
night.
Blockbuster, picking up like some old Sonic game, and you're like, oh no, I gotta finish it.
Yeah, it's got to go back in like 2 hours. It's like, oh man, yeah. And so you're struggling to try to do it, but yeah, I remember the Game Genie when I finally got one for real. I was like, wow, these games that I hated that were frustrating to me, I could just like make them fun. Just say, oh yeah, I have all the weapons now, or I can skip the level that sucks and go to the part of the game that I enjoy, or there's something really tedious about the game and you can just fix it. Plus, then you could like you'd have codes that you knew worked, and you could just like change a digit here or there and just see what effect it would have. Reset the game, try it again. It's like, oh, that gives me like 20 lives. Oh, that gives me 150 lives. But I like the ones that, yeah, that kind of messed with the game. So yeah, different things. So what do you guys think about this other topic here? Um, Wizards of the Coast resorting to literal slot machines. I was gonna play this guy's video, Pleasant Kenobi, but I don't want to I don't want to take the thunder away from anybody here that's doing stuff. But he was talking about on his video, check it out, about he's in Australia, and I guess in Australia, at least from what he says, the gambling laws are different than like in the United States, and a lot more people can gamble, and it's like not a big deal. But then he says, well, it still has kind of a societal effect. There's always a certain percentage of people who are like addicted to gambling, and they like let it just totally get out of control and mess up their lives. And there's like a cost to society. And then the question is, do these companies bear any responsibility, or are they just kind of encouraging that? And so it's like, yeah, this is a way to make money, but it kind of like, I don't know, kind of taints everything. And I realize a lot of people have different strong views about gambling, and so it's like, okay, that could be a loaded topic. But the question is, you've got Wizards of the Coast under Hasbro, who makes Dungeons and Dragons, and they're allowing the license of D&D to go out not just to like a slot machine, like at a casino. Like you could imagine, you go to, I don't know, Atlantic City or whatever, and you walk in, and it's like you've got your Star Wars, and you've got your Wizard of Oz, and your Doctor Who, and oh, and then there's D&D slot machine, and you can lose a bunch of money on that machine and then go home thinking, ah, Wizards of the
So,
Coast. But this is a virtual. This is a virtual one, so it's online gambling.
okay, so I don't know any. I didn't hear. This is my first time hearing about all this stuff.
Okay.
So they're putting their own like brand of sticker on a slot machine that's online.
Yes. Yeah. So there's
Okay,
D&D virtual slots.
I don't really have a problem with that because there's like it's there. If you've been in a casino, there's like everything else. They have
Every
like a
brand.
ton of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like they have like NFL, Game of Thrones. Like casinos are like the Fortnite, just capturing every IP
Yeah.
to put into their slot machines. So I don't know. It's a weird topic.
And well, and I suppose with that, going back to the, does it really taint the brand? When we see a few Pokemon fans or customers going nuts, we think, well, but I know that's just a small subsection. With products, I mean, these companies are really protective of their brands. So if you see a D&D slot machine, you're like, you already know this is derivative. You already know there's a real thing called Dungeons and Dragons, which is a game outside of this. So you're not going to just assume it's just the gambling thing. Like the point is to attract people who already know the brand, who already like it, and go, oh, I can spend even more money on it. Like I
Mhm.
suppose because it's a slot machine, you could have people that have no idea what D&D even is and play it. But the fact that it's D&D at that point doesn't even matter. It's just another gambling machine.
Yeah, it's definitely predatory, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that was the question because the fact that it's online, I mean, which gets into a lot of other online activities, shall we say, that
Hmm.
it's harder to regulate because you don't know necessarily who's doing it. Whereas with a casino, you could go, "Hey, are you 18? Let me check your ID." Or, "Oh, you've had enough. Get out of here." Whereas with online, it's like, oh, we'll just pretend we don't know that kids
Yeah.
are accessing this stuff and like running up their parents' credit card or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Plus,
It's bad.
I've always thought,
It's really bad.
yeah, and I have friends that are like this too, and I don't know if they're gamblers or not, but it's this idea that, back in the day, the image was you go into the casino and the mob is really running it and they're fixing the machines and they're watering down the drinks and it's like kind of corrupt. That's kind of the stereotype, and it's not based on nothing. But with video stuff, it's like how easy would it be to manipulate the pachinko machine or whatever it is to say, oh yeah,
Extremely.
the physics can be like tinkered with, and you wouldn't even
Uh,
know.
yeah, I'm fully convinced that they're all rigged because I have history. Like last year, I lost a bunch of money, and on this one thing that was like, it was basically like a 50-50 shot, like roll, like doing heads or tails basically, and it would be the equivalent of hitting tails 14 times in a row. So,
Wow.
like, unless like I did something crazy, like they're most likely rigged. From that point on, I banned myself from all online gambling. Like I
Smart.
it's not a good time.
Well, and whenever it gets into this discussion, this guy's video, um, uh, Pleasant Kenobi, the comment section was really interesting. Like a lot of times, you don't want to go to comment sections of videos because it's just people like spamming and like flaming each other, and it's not useful or talking about unrelated stuff. But they had a nice conversation going about how, like, okay, you have gambling like in video games with like loot boxes and stuff, and then that's a way that companies can like subvert like gambling laws because they can say, well, it's inside this game that we can sell to kids, and you get random loot that then you can exchange for real money. I mean, sometimes not, sometimes it's not, but yeah, people can sell the digital items that they randomly got.
Yeah. The
Or
CS:GO skins, they could
yeah,
the how Steam gets around it is the Steam, it's only in the Steam marketplace. Like they can't get the money out of the Steam marketplace. So it's worth money, but it's like game money. Like
yeah.
so yeah.
Well, and again, I'm not saying that if you want to do this sort of thing that you shouldn't be allowed to, but I feel
Mhm.
like there's the cheating aspect. Yeah, like we talked about. Like if there's some possibility that they just rigged the game and
Mhm.
hid it from you and made it look like it's a real thing. Like kind of like having a lottery, but you've already determined the winner, like before it even starts. Like that just seems corrupt and criminal to me. And then
Yeah.
giving it to kids who don't have that, maturity and responsibility, and it's just very
Mhm.
predatory. And I know in the United States we've had kind of a history of difficulty with things like that, with marketing directly to children versus in some other countries that's not allowed, and all the can of worms with that. But when it comes to video games, like people were saying, okay, oh, here's the two examples. One was I don't know if it's Pokemon. I always in my head I think it's Pokemon, but I sound like like I'm out of touch because I wasn't involved in that. But you get those booster packs, like the foil, and you're supposed to rip open the package and you don't know what cards are in there. But people would sell these booster packs like for big amounts of money, but then you rip it open and it could be like some card that's like not worth anything or it's not anything special, but you paid a lot thinking that it was going to be something. And it's like, okay, isn't that a form of gambling? And it's something promoted by the company. It's not just something that fans do. So it's like, okay, well, that's a fair point. And then there's people are saying, well, what about video games in general? Like you put a quarter into the machine to play an arcade game, and it's like, well, I might win,
Mhm.
I might lose, and oh, I lost. Okay, I'll put in another quarter, and so you're paying for the entertainment value, the adrenaline rush, the dopamine hit you get from the entertainment of the game. That one I thought was a little bit of a stretch. I mean, I know there are arcades that you can go to where like you can win tickets from playing like Pac-Man or something. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting, but I think in that case it's like a jukebox. Like you put the quarter in, it plays the song. Like you know what you're getting. It's not like when you put the quarter in, it might not play the song, or it might play the song that you want, or it might play some song that you hate. And it's like,
Yeah,
and
you're getting some value.
yeah,
Yeah.
because there's people that gamble that say, hey, look, I know I'm going to lose, but I just enjoy it anyway. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
well, I mean, but that's like, but that's your justification you're putting on it. Like, I know this hamburger is going to taste terrible and I'm going to get sick afterwards, but I'm going to eat it anyway. It's like, okay. Whereas, but if you sell the product with the idea that, oh, you're going to win big, or there's a good chance, or if you use your skill, you're going
Mhm.
to accomplish this, and actually, no, you're not. And we're just going to like bleed you dry unless you like drag yourself out of there. And kids
Mhm.
are not going to have that same level of like self control and understanding. So I, I think some people went too far and basically said everything is gambling. Like everything is gambling. It's like, no, no, no. We're talking about something very specific here. So you can define it, you can regulate it, and it's probably a good thing to do that. And if you like it and think that it should be around, you should want at least some semblance of regulation. Now that doesn't say that D&D shouldn't have like a virtual slot machine, but I was like, if I was a D&D fan, I mean, I've played D&D, but I don't think I would want it. Now somebody else could come back and say, yeah, but that the money that D&D machine makes or virtual machine makes goes back into the franchise, which means you can have more nice D&D things with all that profit. I would say to that, but what if just sort of like another game company, Konami, um, decides at some point, you know what, this whole game thing that we've been doing, not that profitable. Let's just shift to the gambling. So the more you support that or promote it, you're kind of like encouraging them to slide away from the thing that you liked in the first place that was kind of wholesome to something that's kind of crappy, kind of shady, but makes money. So it's like, do I really want to support this? I mean,
Yeah, where I stand is I think the online, at least if I get really opinionated right now, the online bad, but in the casino, I'd say
mm,
like why not? I mean, I'm an NFL fan, and that the NFL slot machine is pretty fun. Like
okay,
you get to pick your own like team in the NFL. So and then like the whole slot machine is like your team's stuff, and it's really fun and like I mean, it is still gambling. That's the problem. Is it you get sucked in and you're like, ah, cool team, and like or like you get it's a big slippery slope with distractions, and it is predatory. But yeah, I don't know. It's I think in the physical sense, like when you're at a casino, you know where you are. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where if you're online, you could be on your phone, you could be like the online gambling is there. I like it only recently surged, and I can't wait for like 5-10 years to go by and big studies to come out because I have a weary feeling that it's a huge problem that nobody's really addressing.
mm, yeah. I can remember. I'm trying to think when it was, like decades ago. People were talking about online gambling. It was like, oh, that's never gonna happen. No one's gonna allow that. That's too shady, or that'll be banned. And now it's like coming back. And it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
who wants to make take a big expensive trip to a casino and stay at an expensive hotel and all these other expenses when you could just sit at home and do it? But I don't know. Yeah, I would see it much more as if I were a gambler, I'd be like, listen, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna, this is the amount of money I'm gonna spend, and when that's gone, I'm going home, and that's it. And like, I have no illusions about it. Um, just like, okay, I'm going to go to the arcade and I've got this amount of quarters and I'm going to spend those quarters. And when that's done, I'm going home. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, I watched that recently. It's kind of funny. But I suppose you could say, yeah, it's just one stereotype after another. It's not necessarily what it's really like for people. And I know there's like sports betting and all this other stuff that was like legalized recently where I am. So,
What
Can
yeah.
I jump in here? Um,
Hey,
so
well,
yeah, I'm an avid online gambler, so
okay.
I may have like a difference of opinion that I can share.
Is this
Um,
Geek Gone Giddy?
what is
Or what's your name? I just see GG.
Gravandale Games?
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry.
Uh,
I I thought you were somebody else, but welcome.
Oh, that's
To
all
the
right.
Rantcast.
So
Okay.
I would say, because I do avid casino gaming, and then I also do online gaming. It's about 50-50. They're about the same, and you can definitely tell by like what casinos go to by what their payouts are. So if they're like 80%, 90%, but yes, you're gonna lose. Like that's the point. So you're right. It is an entertainment value. You have to judge. Like if I was gonna go to the movie and spend $50, or if I'm gonna go to
Mhm.
the casino and spend $50. To me, it's like we go to the casino, spend $50, and there's a chance we might walk back out with that $50 or more, but the likelihood is we're gonna lose it. Most of the online casinos I've seen are like 94, 92 payout. So you're still going to likely lose, but they're higher than some casinos. I live in Wisconsin and near Madison, and that whole chunk there is like the highest casino payout around, and that's like 95%.
Hmm.
And I would say the online casinos are about the same, like feel. Like you get the same amount back as what you would from that. But to your overall point, like I would love to see Dungeons and Dragons. I would love to see a HeroQuest machine at the casino or online. It doesn't matter. And when you say like, is it for kids? I feel like these games were for us when we were kids, but now we're adults and we still love them, so we still want to see them. So like, if I see a Holy Grail Monty Python machine, I want to play it, even though that was something for me from a kid. It's not really marketed to a kid anymore, but it's in the casino.
Oh,
They've already done it.
it's funny you mention that. Yeah, because and GravandaleGames, thanks for contributing your opinion. Glad to have you here. Um, yeah, Monty Python and like the Holy Grail, definitely not a kids movie, not at all. But when I was in high school, like yeah, we all watched it, and I think there was like versions on TV that were a little bit like they had censored some things. It's like when I watched the regular version, I'm like, whoa, okay, this is a little more intense. But yeah, it was kind of a I don't know, just a rite of passage to kind of experience that and go, oh yeah, this is out there. And yeah,
Yeah,
you have that
they started
memory
out like
of
the
it,
mask,
the nostalgia.
with Jim Carrey as a slot machine in Madison. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's awesome, playing the
yeah,
mask machine. But that's something from a kid, but not
yeah.
really. Like the newer kids are not even gonna know what that machine is.
So they're not gonna have like a Sesame Street slot machine.
Yeah, I don't think they have that. I mean, you may see something that looks like little My Little Pony, but it's not My
Hmm.
Little Pony's IP.
I see.
Willy Wonka, you'll see that all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That marketed to kids.
that's my mom's favorite machine.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So it's a kids movie
Hmm.
by all means, but it's not marketed to kids in that aspect because I
Hmm.
feel like
You
they've
just
already
gotta
done
get that
these.
golden ticket.
Yeah. 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 That was a form of gambling. They're buying the chocolate, hoping they get the ticket, and people
That's
were
that's a
selling
that's
the
a
ticket
big
in the movie.
mechanic in that slot machine. Yeah.
So it's kind of self-aware at that point. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. And I suppose with the physical casino, it's like I said, it's much easier to regulate it. It's much easier to see and be transparent with it, I suppose. Whereas I feel like with the digital stuff, I mean, you mentioned the odds. I hadn't even considered that, but yeah, it just seems like it's more ripe for abuse when it's like hidden away and it's yeah, kind of clandestine as opposed to
Yeah,
just
I
out
would say
in the
that
open.
it does feel like the online ones are like it can feel scammy. However, like there's major. You gotta remember, like the casino that you're playing at, that slot is actually you're dealing with a server that's not even owned by that casino. Like, so if that machine ended up being like a scam machine, that would hurt like the slot manufacturer. Like there's virtual slot manufacturers. So just like
Hmm.
if you go to a casino, there's like IBT machines. That's the manufacturer of that slot machine. So when you're playing at a casino online, that casino doesn't even own. They're leasing the rights to that slot machine so they can have their players play it. Um, So like that slot machine is going to be not scammy. I mean, it's going to have whatever the payout percentages that casino has, but it's not like it's rigged where they're like, "Hey, you're taking too much money from us. We're going to flip the switch," because then that manufacturer, all their games would be taken off of every online casino.
So they have a vested interest in delivering a quality product and not being perceived as a corrupt
Yeah,
thing. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
because
That's a good
if the
point.
casino is making their own slots, then it would be more of a they have the ability to do that. But
Mhm.
when you're actually like placing a bet, you press spin, it's connecting to the server, not of that casino, but of that slot
Ah,
manufacturer. And
yeah.
they're doing it and then telling you what the result was and giving that to the casino.
But it's still being curated. It's not like you're on your phone or you're at home on your computer. Just you
Well,
found some
you
website.
are, but you're not connecting to that casino. You in the casino when you hit spin don't know what you're going to hit. It's connecting the slot provider, and then they're coming back and saying, "Here's what the results was of that spin."
Maybe I'm too old school here. So you're not talking about like you're in the physical casino and the physical machine is not on site. It's just streaming it from somewhere else.
I'm literally on a web page on my phone. I hit spin.
Uh-huh.
It goes out not to the casino, but to that slot manufacturers, and then that slot manufacturer says, "This is the millisecond that you spun. This is the result that you're going to get from that spin," and they tell
Oh.
me and the casino.
Whoa, casino talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Strange Bus is back.
I might get booted for this. Be talking all about all this casino talk.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna disconnect my internet again.
Shocked to find that there's
And
gambling in this casino.
as a gambler, I tell everybody, don't gamble. Because, yes, you will lose. Like, I'm probably down 10,000.
Holy shit! Who's?
So,
Okay, I'm sorry. I just joined in.
Well, this
Yeah.
is Strange Bus, my co-host from the Rantcast, and we're talking with PureVessel and also
Oh,
GravandaleGames.
okay.
So everybody's outing themselves as
Degenerate
high
gamblers.
stakes
Yeah.
high rollers.
Yeah.
We got Bohemyus here. He's throwing elbows, getting Pokemon cards. No, just kidding. That was a joke.
Kurgan, since you picked up after me from my internet issues, do you still want my webcam on for the stream, or are we good like this?
I mean, we can get you on camera if you want. You wanna?
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to like take over or anything.
Oh, by all means. All right, there he is, the man.
Hey, Kindle.
Okay, well, yeah, I've been learning some things here about, yeah, we were talking about Wizards of the Coast having an official Dungeons and Dragons branded virtual slot machine. And I was talking about, my impression of, like a casino slot machine versus like something you play online. Gravendal was telling me about, different odds and payouts and maybe the differences between like what I perceive it to be. Because I mean, I think the last time I went into a casino was maybe like 20 years ago. So I'm not the most authoritative person to know about these things. But yeah, just the possible effects of having your brand associated with gambling. We talked about the fact that I thought that was a great point about you have maybe brands that we liked as kids, but like nowadays they're seen as like nostalgic. So you got like a Willy Wonka slot machine. It's like that's not being marketed to kids like in a predatory way. That's for people like our age who are like, oh yeah, Willy Wonka, and I'm here to gamble anyway, and let's play that one because it's fun or whatever.
So, I mean, this is a great topic because my current profession works in the casino industry right now. So,
So Joe Pesci's your boss?
I
No, just kidding. I was gonna throw that one in
well,
there.
might as well. I kind of depending because this is a public kind of thing. I have to kind of be careful about what I talk about. But
Yeah.
like my job profession's fine. So,
Mhm.
yeah, because I set these things up. So I work for a company that, as you know, I travel for this because my jurisdiction's not just where I live; it's multiple states. So, casino wants our machine set up. I help set up the slot machines. I put them together, and then we consult with the casino on what like percentages and stuff that they need set up. But um, this was very funny because I think one side I was at was talking about how certain, I guess, certain media does better in certain areas than others. So I didn't know they were doing D&D though. I know Konami.
Yep.
Is a big thing with the metal. They got their Metal Gear pachinko machines. I've actually gotten to talk to a couple of their techs. So sorry, pardon me. I'm sick. So, but I've got everything wrong with me today. Internet issues, health issues, but yeah, I've gotten to talk to a couple of their techs. But I have a very strong hatred for Konami, mostly because they've killed the video games and they've just moved to gambling. But
See, that was my point there. I still have fond memories of Konami because to me, when I hear that name, I think of like the Nintendo and Sega games that they had, the arcade games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Simpsons and X-Men and all that. Like I have just sheer nostalgia. But if I walked in and I saw, yeah, they had a gambling game, Konami, yeah, it's like that would be like a little temptation for me to say, oh yeah, I should try this because I have that loyalty to that brand. But of course now I I know a little more of the story.
yeah, it's so rough. But I yeah. So from what I've got here and what we were talking about earlier, is it Wizards of the Coast that's doing this, or who's
Uh,
starting to
oh yeah,
unveil slot machines?
yeah. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna find the article again here because I did have it. Like a ton of people were commenting on it, and it was mostly negative. People saying like, this is just one more, last straw that Wizards of the Coast, screwing up. I think the
Hmm.
bigger issue that people were talking about is, yeah, similar to some of the things we touched on, which is that this is a sign that they're in trouble. This is a sign that this brand is dying, and so they're trying to just find the easiest, quickest cash grab they can by farming it out to gamblers and casinos and virtual casino. So,
Yes and no. And this is just my personal opinion, right? I think that and because I do dabble in the industry, I'm not a gambler. I'm gonna state that right now. I I don't gamble. Very little do I gamble. Like it's on a social level. Like it's, hey, I have a best friend's wedding and they're going to the casino. I will take maybe $50, and I already know where that goes. I have a strong opinion against strong opinion against.
uh,
You cut out.
still there, Strange Bus?
He hit mute.
Oh, you're muted. Well, if we lost him,
No, my I was adjusting my equipment and my broadcast cut out. So,
you have like the
but
best
yeah, I have
sounding
a
mic here. I just gotta say.
well, it probably doesn't sound too great now because my
Oh,
broadcast quit out. But
said you had a strong view
I
about.
yeah, I have a strong view on gambling, but and I believe it. Don't You probably shouldn't gamble, but I feel like if they're gonna take gambling anywhere, I don't believe it belongs in video games. I don't believe it belongs in other media, but like the casino itself, where it's like age restricted and stuff, I guess is good. I don't know about them losing money because I don't know much about that company, to be honest. But like as well as if they're sinking like a sinking ship, but
I gotta
I
highlight
think
this.
that
Oh, sorry. Finish your thought, and I'll butt in
But I
here.
think it's if they are sinking, it's a good fallback. Like I said, look at Konami, right? 10 years ago, they weren't doing very well. They kept getting like lambasted, and then they shot a good chunk of their IPs in the foot because they were going to release a new Silent Hill in 2014 that everybody was looking forward to, and their big wigs decided to make a really bad decision. So instead of double downing in the video game industry, they just backed off for 10 years and went to um, the casino industry. Like they just went straight back to gambling, pure gambling. So, and now they're going back. They're coming back into video games slowly, but um,
Yeah,
making sure my broadcast works now. Yeah, okay, I'm back. Cool.
good. Well, I don't know. There's we were talking about the Willy Wonka uh, gambling machine, and it was like, oh, the whole storyline of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was the fact that they were marketing to kids like, buy the chocolate bars because there's a chance there might be a golden ticket in there. And if you get the golden ticket, you have a chance that you might win the contest and take over the factory or whatever, or the lifetime supply of chocolate. That's what it was. They didn't know about
Right.
inherit the factory. So it was a story about gambling, and now you're making a gambling machine about that. So it's like, who's surprised by that? But with D&D, it's weird because D&D, I think we've talked about it before. Like, even though I've only played it a handful of times, my lifetime of HeroQuest has taught me that you really don't have, like, you can make the game whatever you want. Like, the GM is like a god. He can just make up anything. And the players make choices, and you can just kind of modify it on the flow, on the way you go. And yeah, there's some rules and stuff, but you're free to change those. And in theory, like, you walk up to the gaming table, you look behind the GM screen, and there's nothing there. Like, there's no book, there's no notes. Like, the guy could be completely riffing. It'd be difficult, but it could be whatever you want. So it's like you're using D&D as like a gambling machine, but it's like there's no rules. It could be anything. I suppose that's
Well,
not
is it
really more
is
like
it the actual game,
fantasy,
or is it just
the theme
is it
of
just the theme?
I think it's
Yeah.
the theme. I mean, without actually playing it, I couldn't tell you for sure. I'm laughing at this article because these images are clearly AI generated.
Hmm.
The article
Yeah, I was
itself
looking
kind of
at.
looks like it's AI generated, and I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to wonder if this author, Gamerson Nichols, is that really a real person, or is that an AI as well? So,
It's a pseudonym
yeah, his family.
with an AI face.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Game Pro. It's like Buzzcut and like what was that? Like they all had like alter egos. Like there was a ninja and there's like a robot, and like you didn't
It's like
know.
with people in movies who don't want to be affiliated, they use a pseudonym. Like the Borderlands movie, that
Oh,
guy who didn't want to be affiliated with the movie used a pseudonym. Everybody was like,
Alan
kept trying to catch him
Smithy.
out on it. Yeah.
Alan Smithy. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to be affiliated. Um, but anyway, even so, even due to the sh- weird cobbled together nature of this article, it's mentioning Wizards of the Coast. So this is dated January 3rd, 2025, and this is from Fanatic. It's DungeonsandDragonsFan.com. So the article is D&D Gambling Slot Machine. And so it's called Dungeons and Dragons Tales of Riches. Will be hitting casinos. Okay, so it is at casinos and online iGaming platforms sometime in early 2025. So I don't know if it's out
Okay.
yet.
No, but I can probably grab the theme. Give me a second.
Yeah. But these images are clearly just ones that they whipped up. But it's Games Global is a UK-based developer and distributor of iGaming products, which are essentially
What's it
digital
called?
slot machines. Dungeons and Dragons Tales of Riches. Tales of Riches. Yeah. It's developed by
Okay.
Neon Valley Studios. Yeah, so at the time of this article, they didn't quite know what it was going to be like. So that's why they have all these fake pictures. So Neon Valley
Yeah.
Studios.
So
Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, like no, I was just saying pretty much what you said. It looks like you were saying like a partner, somebody partnered with Hasbro
Hmm.
on it.
So they licensed it out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not being created by Hasbro, but yeah, they do license their products. Somebody else was talking about like what's the harm in licensing stuff out? I mean, you can like I remember going into a grocery store and I saw it was like Kylo Ren celery or something. Like it's like it's just freaking celery and it has Kylo Ren on it. Like nothing has changed. Like why do I want a
I will say
character in
that's
my celery?
that's a huge tactic for kid brand, like just kids food or like their water bottles or anything like kid related. Everything's got to have like Bluey on it or like
You want
something on it.
you
It's
want the
insane.
image. You want the image. So it's like
Well, it's
okay,
Yeah.
just the psychology, the sales psychology. Like they've moved from there was billions and trillions of dollars moved towards like product placement, like how we can design the stores a certain way to get people to buy things, and now it's moved to like, well, not many people are going in store, they're buying online. How can we, I don't know,
Just being
like
reminded the
different
product exists.
different psychology, yeah.
So yeah, coming from a business standpoint, there being a businessman, well, somebody who had a business, looking at a setup there. My train of thought for that is most companies now, like Amazon, for example, is the most common. They are tailored to a user experience. So it's still up to the company on how they're going to get their product out, but they would have to talk to Amazon, and Amazon would have to, I guess, you'd have to go by their algorithm, I suppose.
Oh, that's not the one.
I would still be, and like I said, this is probably an outdated method. I would still be marketing, if I was marketing toys, still be marketing for toy stores or entertainment stores. Like, for example, like for our area, it'd be like places like GameStop or a hobby store or something like that. If you're going online, it'd probably be whoever gets the most traffic. You'd be Amazon. There's some electronic stores over here that do online shipping. I keep wanting to say Toys R Us, but they're no longer around. But like, if you had a local store, if they have an online shipping, you'd use them. I don't know if that rises the cost because they have to do shipping, but I think that if anything, that saves you money, because you don't have to put as much marketing out there, like because you're doing everything online. So I don't know, but as far as the gambling goes, they're just moving this to the casino, right? It looks like the company here is it's a casino-based company, right? This isn't moving to like your cell phone, is it?
According to the article, it's both.
iGaming platforms.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where the problem might be, because like I said, if it's moving to casinos, I mean, like I said, I might be the devil's advocate there, and like I said, it not based on my job or anything, but like it's one of those things where like I bet you there's probably some focus group of people who've played D&D and are like, oh, we would love a D&D machine. You get that Mr. Big guy who's like, I've played D&D back in my day. Smoke cigar in like one chain. Oh, give me D&D machine in here. And he's like big spender, so he like drops like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year into a said casino. So I don't know. Like probably the focus group said, okay, that's enough for us to roll these out. I've seen owners of properties do a lot worse and like talk to companies about having a specialized machine. There are machines that are thousands of pounds that get tested in certain states, just for that reason, because there are lifers that go to those casinos,
Mhm.
and they'll just rack money into them, and then they go to see how well they attract people who aren't those people, so that maybe they can get pushed into another area. But is the Wayne's World for selling out?
Yeah. We're
Are
gonna
we
get,
doing this? Yeah.
we're gonna edit this out, but because we're gonna get copyright struck.
Pizza Hut. This is Pizza Hut. Doritos. God, that's like one of my favorite scenes in that movie too.
Because
It's so
it's
good.
real product placement, but they're making fun of the fact
Yes,
that it's like.
but you know that's like the biggest like product placement like diss. Oh, but you still get money for that. They still
Right.
probably had to pay for that.
Yeah, they surely did. Yeah, so
You ain't getting away with that shit. Even with that Tylo aspirin bottle, you're not getting away with that.
just like the commercial.
I'll take my check, please. And fucking Rob Lowe, man. Rob Lowe is like immortal.
Yeah.
Have you anybody looked up Rob Lowe recently? Dude looks almost exactly the same. Like, has not aged. That guy's gonna live longer than I am. Dude's like almost 60 years old, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the theme, how the theme is built. I think it's on this page, on the same page you guys have. Are they using real credits for the phone version? Does anybody know? Like, you putting real money into it?
Probably Bitcoin based.
It's gonna
Okay.
probably go to social casinos, which are
I was just say because if it's like most like gambling slots I've seen for phone are like they use like mock money or like tokens or some crap, and like you'll get prizes, but like unless they like say like you could win a car or something like crap like that, they don't they
I
always
would
use like
imagine
real
it.
money.
I would imagine it to be like the Hacksaw Gaming company. That's just like they find like host websites like I'm not gonna say it, but the one that Drake is all about, and they'll just get on there and just be like,
Like
hey,
the
we
rapper.
have yeah. I hate the company so vehemently. I'm not gonna name it, but yeah, no. But
All good. I don't like him either.
Hacksaw Gaming is the one of the big companies that runs the slot side of that website. So and like they exchange all the Bitcoin. So I'm sure they could do a system where it's not even Hacksaw. Hacksaw probably just doesn't even care what money it's paid for because that company takes Bitcoin and then whatever Hacksaw takes from that website, it could be different, but the money gets washed either way.
Okay.
yeah, Hacksaw's a gaming provider for them. So yeah, they won't be like the casino. They'd be the
Your audio is really
slot
low.
provider. That just like this neon place that's making the W drawing.
BG, your audio is really low.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
we're having trouble hearing you. Neon Valley Studios.
I mean, I guess the gist of what you're saying there, Gravandale, is just, yeah, I think I've got you at maximum volume, just so you know.
So, looking at their website here,
If you want to
they
throw
are
the
owners
link into
of
the chat, if you want to share something, then I can put it on the
yeah.
screen.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the where's our chat? Are you forgetting where the chat is on this thing? Oh, that's right here. Okay, I got it. Hold on. I just saw your thing. I hate Drake so much. No offense to anybody who likes Drake. I cannot
You dissing
stand his
Drake?
voice.
No,
Sorry,
I have no
I
stake in
can't
this.
stand him. Okay, I was like, cannot stand his voice
It's
at
a
all.
celebrity. We're gonna have to fight about it. I'm just kidding.
You like a baby rapping because that's what he sounds like.
You got something against babies rapping? No. Hey,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to highlight a few
2, 4,
comments here. Sorry, I just gotta.
14. Okay.
Joe
Oh
said,
yeah, I don't have chat open. Sorry guys.
okay, so JoeKozier's saying, my nephew had one of the Madden NFL games and wanted me to try it. He said, I'll go easy on you since I never played it before. I received the kickoff. He stole the ball off me and then ran the score 90 something to 0 in the first quarter. Totally turned me off that game.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's a funny story. I've been in that situation myself. Not with Madden, but with other games. Some games they were so good I wanted to like actually learn it so that I could come back, but other ones it's just like, okay, fine. I'm glad you had fun because I got smoked. Joe says, I'm done with D&D with this new edition. I'll play any edition except this one and fourth. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole big discussion. Version Wars, we've covered it on the RANTCast.
Still got my Star Wars D&D. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
The Star Wars role playing game. That's what I got it
Tell
for.
me which
3.5. 3.5.
3.5. Okay,
I think that's what I'm rolling with.
Since I get lost on all the versions, but what's the cover look like? Is that the one with Darth Vader, or is that the?
Hold on. I can go get him. No big deal.
I have the red one. I can't remember which one.
Is that the Elmore? The guy fighting the dragon?
I forgot. No, it was like a beginner's one.
Oh, okay.
You got the core rulebook,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
this is in reverse.
The episode
And then
2
you've
one.
got the revised core rulebook.
The episode 1. Or no, that's episode 2. Wait, show them again? Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, because they had an episode 1 one, an episode 2 one. And I think at that time I was like, I'm waiting for the episode 3 one, but it never came because they changed the whole thing.
These were
I should have gotten the episode
2000 and 2002.
But actually what I ended up doing is getting the West End Games one, the D6.
Oh.
Because they had re-released it as a reprint edition, like a 2-volume set. And I was like, I'm not paying for that. So I went on eBay and I found like a beat up beat to hell, dog-eared, well-loved copy of the original. I think I had to glue the pages because the pages were falling. I glued them back in. I'm like, yeah, that's the stuff right there.
And then if you really want to be like a nitpicker, like I used to be in Star Wars D&D, is you get that book there. I used to have a couple other ones, but that's the only one that I still have, and that is the revised vehicles and like items book. So you can use vehicles from that book, vehicles, items, stuff like that. It has mechanics, all that. So you like really want to get in depth. Like you want to get nerdy. It's going to be a nerdy night. Like one of those things where it's like 12 hours long. Y'all got the stovetop on.
Yeah.
Y'all got your Jedi robes on.
Yep.
It's
got your flashlights pretending they're lightsabers. Even though you got
that's
the real
exactly
lightsaber,
it.
but you got your theory sabers, but then you got your flashlight.
Yeah.
Had to throw that in. Yeah, see, it always diverts back to Star Wars. We go way off topic, but yeah, D&D. So Joe is talking about these versions. Rob says Hasbro has a drinking game, and I'm not sure it's the same. They give you rewards and stuff online. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. You fell asleep. Ribby was here. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm past due on these comments. Let's see. Degrassi.
I've got chat open now, so
okay, cool.
Should be able to catch it.
Yeah,
but like I was mentioning before,
1987 West End game, Star Wars. The reason I got it was not even because I wanted to play the Star Wars role playing game, which I guess was based on the Ghostbusters game before they switched. The one you've got is D&D. It switched over to the D20, but the D6 one, the reason I got it was because I wanted basically a book that just had like the expanded universe stuff, because I was starting to get like angry with Disney at that time, and I'm like, I just want a book that has like the lore and the worlds and the technology, because that's basically what it is. Like the game had to make up a lot of that stuff, and the novels use
chronology.
Yeah.
That'll help you. Like I said, I didn't just use D&D. Like I said, it was our imagination, so we went above and beyond that scale.
Yeah.
Just went straight into it. So if there's any part of the galaxy you wanted to grab, you grab the chronology. I think that has a map in there, and then you'd pick a planet, pick an era, and you'd know what heroes were where, or at least if you had basic Star Wars knowledge, you'd know what heroes or villains were around that time.
Instead of having
and then like
say, oh
yeah. Or I mean, you could do what you want. Like I said, I had people who were Wookiee Sith Lords at one point in time, and like during the KOTOR era, and like it was, like I said, I literally had one guy who almost ended our entire campaign because he was a Wookiee who ended up becoming a Force user and joining the lady who turned to the dark side, and all I could remember out of that was he ends up at the end of the round pulling a literal KOTOR and choking her to death.
Wow.
Off a lucky roll. Like, just rolled a straight 20. And, like...
Not much you can do with that. Sort of divine intervention.
And, like I said, I also had people who, like, during that time I worked actually at a casino, and, like, we would work night shifts, so we would day drink and play D&D. And it was some fun times, but... Yeah, I got pushed. And that was like when I was early game master, so I got pushed to my limit. I would create a scenario. I'd spend like 6 hours, and it'd be 4 hours wasted because they would divert a total different course or start trying to kill each other. And like I was like, come on, man. Come on, you got bosses down the hall, and y'all are already like messing each other up. So, but yeah. As far as the Neon Valley goes, they don't own a lot of stuff, so maybe they're an up and coming. Maybe they're trying to get into slot machines or trying to get into a lot of slot machines. They only own like 2, 4, 6, 8, 14, 16 themes. So I don't know if they're just software only.
All right, let me get that link that you sent me a while back. I wasn't paying attention. My bad.
But
looks like they're software only, and I haven't heard of them before, so I don't think they're on many of the major casinos.
Yeah, so maybe they might get bought out, but I don't know. It sounds like these guys might be like iPhone or cell phone only. These look like cell phone type themes.
And if you're letting your kids
I've
watch
never
the
seen.
Rantcast, shame on you.
I've been to many casinos recently. I've never seen a Genie's Arabian Riches or a Pineapple Pop
My favorite one. No, just play.
or Asgardian Fire.
That's probably Australian side.
Yeah, I mean they might be UK based, but players in non-US markets. Okay, I maybe need to read the article a little bit more. I don't know.
So gaudy. Yeah, I guess that's.
But they mentioned Las Vegas about 16 times in their website, so I don't know. Like I said, I think Hasbro sold to a cheap company to do this, so maybe they can make some extra cash. But yeah, I don't think they're going into, and it says in that article they're going to slots too.
Yep.
So maybe they might not be, or maybe they might just be in Las Vegas for a while. I don't know, because like I said, I've never heard of this studio before.
That's all I can do, not to post clips of Vegas vacation. I think Christmas Vacation is the best one, but yeah, the whole thing is Mr. Papo Giorgio and then Chevy Chase like sneaking away from his family so he can like gamble more, even though he's the one like warning him against it, and like he's getting sucked in, losing all his money to the guy from Princess Bride.
Oh, okay. Online iGaming platforms. So yeah, it'll be like if you want to like virtual poker and stuff like that. Yeah, I think this is kind of a weird move, to be honest, for Hasbro. But they're not usually in the gambling market, so
It's branching out.
yeah, good luck. But it's weird.
This is probably wrong, but I remember seeing, I think it was Hasbro, that like some sort of infographic of Hasbro and just like all the IPs and just everything they own, and it's like massive. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I think we do that on a RANTCast once, like because I didn't know how much Hasbro owned.
We did a Disney one, and then I think we did a Hasbro one, and a lot.
Yeah, because I was telling you, I didn't.
They have a
I
lot
was
of
like, if you don't like
subsidiaries.
Hasbro, switch to a different company, and you were like, I don't know, that's kind of hard. And I like looked, I was like, oh, never mind.
It is tough.
They own like Barbie and everything else.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, actually, Barbie's Mattel, but
oh, Barbie's Mattel, sorry, but like they own like
you
major,
named the one
like major.
that they don't. Yeah, it's like they
Whatever. I don't keep track of this.
Transformers, GI Joe, Wizards of the Coast, Avalon Hill. Like, there's a lot of stuff. But then there's also a lot of stuff they license. So they have deals with Disney for Star Wars.
Yeah, the iceberg.
But it's a Hasbro product technically, nonetheless. Like, yeah, you're, how was it? Shop by brands. Like, holy shit! Just looking at this.
Renegade Game Studios manages HeroScape, but HeroScape is Hasbro. There's like a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, we just go back and watch that episode. I forget which one. Power Rangers. Do they own Power Rangers or do they license it?
Well, here I got it here. Hold on.
Okay.
So the ones that they have just shopping, like shopping by brands, just the stuff they own now, and that's popular. It's Power Rangers, Peppa Pig, Marvel. They have Marvel toys, so I'm guessing they license that from like Disney.
Yeah, they would have.
Furby, Beyblade, Hydropods, Nerf, Potato Head, Transformers, Star Wars, Play-Doh,
Wait.
My Little Pony.
They do have Barbie?
Baby Alive.
I thought you said Barbie.
No, I didn't say that. I said My Little Pony. My Little Pony.
My Little Barbie is what I heard. No, I was kidding.
Scrabble, PJ Masks, Monopoly, G.I. Joe.
Okay. We got a Monopoly.
And that's just some things. Yeah, like that's just on their Hasbro shop. I'm guessing that's their top. But
I didn't do it right. Here, let's do it right. They have Monopoly. Okay, that's dumb.
There you go.
Yeah, they do license it. Yeah. So, in all this stuff, I feel like I kind of left Bohemyus in the dust. Bohemyus, you've been awfully quiet. I'm so sorry. I feel like you were going to say something before, and I didn't let you. Go for it. Are you still?
No, absolutely. There's just all the gambling part is not my cup of tea in general.
Is
Uh,
is it a big deal in Italy? I guess if I could get like a
oh yeah, of
perspective.
course. No, gambling, of course. In Italy, is, it's they always gamble. Okay.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to push it a lot in Australia too. I think, huh? If I
It's
remember it.
No,
huge in Australia.
Yeah, the one guy was at least he was claiming that it was bigger there than in the U.S. I told
Australia has a huge gambling problem.
yeah, that's what he was saying too. So when I was growing up, like there was like I won't say where, but yeah, in my state there was like smaller kinds of gambling were starting to come in. So people played bingo, okay, and people would go to like riverboats, and they would have like a daily limit that you could play. Of course, it's like okay, so you're I don't know, it was some like loophole, like okay, you're on the water, so you're not in the territory, so it was like different, but it's like you're stuck on the ship, so you're just gonna be like, I might as well gamble until I run out of money, and then okay,
Hmm.
sooner or later I'm gonna come back to shore. I mean, there was just different, but so like some people were super against it, and other people were like, oh, what's the harm? And then yeah, I guess the term's outdated now, but they called them Indian casinos. They would have those, and it was like, okay, you've got reservation land, so it's like different, and this is like, oh, okay, this is going to bring up like people coming out of tribal communities, but then I mean like all the political and economic stuff that comes with that. So like that was what I thought of as that, and then just seeing like movies like Casino. So it's like I don't know anything, but
I
yeah,
mean, so
good to get those perspectives from other places.
so I personally live in the Iowa area, right? That's mostly where our casinos are, is a reservation.
Okay, so you're
Um,
familiar.
yeah. So I mean, most of the places that I'm going to do anything are res is on the res. So or if I'm going to places like Nebraska
Hmm.
or yeah, Nebraska's got a lot of casinos on reservation. Um, but yeah,
But not
those are pretty
Nevada,
big. I
not Vegas.
no,
Yeah.
but like I said, that the rules are different, but not.
Well,
I just
I guess now that I think
ah,
about it, you can go to like gas stations and they'll have like it'll say like arcade games or gaming. It's like, oh sweet. And like I'm expecting like asteroids or like Street
Hmm.
Fighter, and it's like no, it's just some like dopey little slot machine. There's a guy parked there just running it all day. It's like, oh, okay. Well, that's what it
it's
is.
hot, man. That's his favorite slot machine. You
Yeah.
don't want to go. You don't want to go inside the casino. He needs to fuel up, get his Twinkies, and go put about $100 in that machine every day.
Yeah. Well, and
It's
lottery
so
tickets,
sad
scratch games.
that
Like that's the
I
thing.
have
Yeah.
I have cousins who are like, yeah, this is our favorite. Like
Powerball.
they're like, hey, don't bash on those like gas station side casinos, man. We like that. They're like once you get cool with the people there and they're all like giving you drinks and stuff, and just
Yeah, they're giving you
I'm just
free shit because you.
yeah, I'm
Oh
like,
man,
dude,
True.
calm down, brother.
how much did you put in that slot machine last time, brother? Because I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you that free stuff they're giving you is not
Yeah,
bit close to
yeah,
free.
no, yeah. I used to be that way. Well, I always, I honestly, I fell down the rabbit hole about like 2 years ago and just like got really bad into it, and it took me like pulling up all my win-loss statements, and I did justify it to myself. I was like, oh well, I am getting like free drinks, free room and board, free food. Like I got everything for free. But then you look up your win-loss statement and you're like, oh, I'm down $4,000. But like then you justify it even more. You're like, well, how much would that room? Like I got a suite. Like that's probably like 400 a night or something crazy. Like just you start justifying it, and no matter how hard you do, you're still like they wouldn't let you in if they're losing money. Like
Isn't that
at the bottom of the line.
Isn't it funny the whole psychology of it? I mean, I know it's not
Oh, it's
gambling, but
crazy.
like when I go to
My degree is psychology.
there you go. When I go to Gen Con and it's like, okay, I spent how much, I spent over $100 on a ticket. I spent all this money on gas, hotel, restaurants, all this stuff, and then it's like I get like a free like book, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I got I got 50 bucks worth of cardboard, and that
Hmm.
justified all that money I spent.
Exactly, Rob. The house always wins, and like the
Yeah.
um, I so my biggest example, I think, for me, and that's, like I said, I think it's the feeling of importance, right? Like I said, I ran a computer business, so it wasn't really the same thing, but customer loyalty goes anywhere. To me, it doesn't matter if you spend $1,000 or you spend $2, right? It's customer loyalty goes anywhere. As long as you're a returning customer, I used to believe in the fact that you'd get something back. Big thing when I working in this industry, big example was when I was at Mystic Lake. Mystic Lake Casinos in Minnesota. That place is like a shopping mall. It's really big. It's got like a huge like eatery, cantina place in there. I think it's got a couple of like places you can shop. It's got a golf course, like a huge golf course. It's got meeting areas for like big wigs. It's got 2 separate hotels, one
it's like
for
a resort,
casual
basically.
stay. Yeah, it's got one for casual stay, one for like board meetings and stuff like that. So if you're on company trip, you can stay there. I got to stay there for a couple days in casual room. A casual stay there in the room that I was at was $400 a night. And that was like a 2-bedroom, and it overlooked the golf course. It was very beautiful. A lot of the big machines that my company brings over gets tested over there, because they have a huge player base, and they also have they're also really, really tight about how what they do to their machines. And like I said, I can't say too much, but the big thing is
We're not getting you in trouble here.
yeah, no, but because I don't know what I could say personally, except for the fact that's it. That's public information. You walk into that casino, you're gonna see the place looks nice, and you could see every machine, pretty much from the floor. And that's how they design it. That's how they move those machines, is so that everybody gets a chance to see what all is available. But yes, they do the same thing. Bigwigs walk through that door like, people who own companies, or they have like 6 to 10 people who come in on business, and they are granted those rooms, or they are given like play money. Like, here, get your free spins, get your free whatever. You get a free night for meal, like you get a free meal or something like that. I think it's the feeling of importance, customer loyalty, right?
Yeah,
So
VIP treatment. You're our best.
yeah,
Don't forget, you're my number one customer.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
I feel like in some areas, I feel that customer loyalty plays a part in a lot of casinos and a lot of places. But at the same time, like I said, because I had what was it 10 years ago, I worked at a casino that was local to my area. I used to pay out jackpots. The big thing is the person will always come back to put that money in the same machine every day, and I'd have to pay out a taxable to this guy. It was $1,200 for that taxable over here, and he was putting in more money than we were able to give him out for the taxable. So the time I paid that out and they were on their way out, he had already paid like 6 times that in that machine. So he was pretty much like, if you put in penny slots and you were getting money back, it was like that to him. He was just throwing hundreds of dollars in, but by that time, it's already gone. And we knew this guy first and last name as he walked in. So the example is very familiar. And I think customer loyalty does go a long way for certain people, but I like you're saying before, you start realizing that, when is it good? Does it pay off, or am I, how negative am I?
Well, don't casinos have like the 1-800 bets off, kind of like tobacco companies say, like,
I mean,
don't
yeah,
smoke,
legally,
kids, just a
keep
little.
the cards in the bathroom, I think. But I mean, I think if you're on reservation or something, that stuff changes. They have like a phone number put someplace, but they don't have to. I think the legality changes in certain places. Like I said, I don't personally know. I think I've always seen it there, but
they usually provide the state's number. Like, the state provides the Gamblers Anonymous number, and then they do say, play responsibly at every casino. But yeah, and also if you ever do gamble, which you shouldn't, because yes, you're going to lose. get a rewards card. That's what they're called at every casino. Because at the end of the year, if you gamble a lot, you can actually get a win-loss statement. So you can
Yeah,
actually
that's what I was
prove
talking
on your
about.
taxes how much you've lost in gambling. So that way, if you had any jackpots or wins, you don't have to pay the taxes on those.
Oh, I think I'm losing my internet again. I think my company's killing my internet. Oh no. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Wow.
I do have a question for the Strange Bus. If you know anything about the or any work on the cruise line uh machines, do you know anything about that? Because I've always heard like the cruise line machines are a lot worse odds or different jurisdictions since international waters.
Like maybe, I don't know. I haven't gotten. I don't think my company works on this.
Mm.
I don't know. That's a good question though, because um we just branched off. There's a couple companies that branched off. Like I said, I'm probably not going to state the company's name because, like I said, I don't know how much I'm supposed to disclose. But we just branched off into Canada, so I know we can be international now. I don't know if we do cruise lines yet, but my big answers to you is that the machines that I've had to install lately, the new ones, are very heavy and they're very big. that's
NFL
all I
machine.
care about. No, I don't do the NFL machines now.
Dude, those machines are huge. The chairs
They're
move and
huge
everything.
and I've seen how they get set up. I've seen there's a couple casinos by where I live that have them, and some are like progressive, but they're like linked progressive to like
Mhm.
more than one casino. So you just see that number running up the entire time.
Dude, yeah, no, it's called like the red zone time or something, and it's like it's
Yeah.
2 minute warning. Oh my god, that is the worst because they just like put that on and you're not even getting any more, but you're just like it's like red light in your face and it's like gamble, gamble, like it's the most predatory thing. It's crazy. Oh my
But I
god.
never had to sit down and play it. I've seen people play it, and they were like talking about how you can pick your team and do all that stuff, and like how it
That's
was
the only
kind of
thing
neat.
that's cool
So,
about it.
but,
Is that you can pick your team.
but
That's the only thing that's cool about it.
but luckily, my company doesn't have to deal with having to set those things up. I'm not like I know two companies that I'm glad I don't have to work for, and that's Aristocrat or IGT. And those guys set up like 1,000-pound machines, and I'm
Mm.
like, I'm good. I don't need to do that. That's insane.
Yeah.
So, but they put their machines up in pieces, so they come at like 300 pounds a piece or something like that. And there was one I saw recently at one like install that was literally almost couldn't fit like in this room. And the
Wow.
ceiling up here is pretty high. Got to be at least 12 feet, 12, 14 feet up. And it's pretty high ceiling. And yeah, it was pretty crazy because we looked at that and was like, "How'd you get that in here?" And he goes, "Oh no, it
Wasn't
comes in
easy.
like 3 or 4 sections."
We built it inside.
And I'm like, "Oh,
How'd the dragon get into the
okay."
horde?
It's like an 80-inch screen. And I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure nobody really cares about how big the monitor is, but at the same time, I don't know. So I don't gamble.
Big monitor
So
equal big win.
Right.
yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
share a story. I feel like this
Mhm.
is the 40-year-old version, but we when I was younger, we had one of those. It was called the One Arm Bandit Bank, and it was just a miniature like slot machine, and you put your quarter in. It was like a bank, and you pull the handle, and it would spin the three things. You try to get the three bells or the three whatever, and then the coins would come out, and it was so much fun, and we just kept doing it until the thing broke. It was just cheap plastic, but yeah, that was my
Yeah, it was like
experience.
a little toy slot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think I had the exact same one that my grandma got me.
I wanted to buy
Thank you,
another one, but I'm
Grandma,
like,
for my crippling gambling addiction.
oh man, yeah. So, well, I was thinking this whole time I've been like tamping down my like anger and rage because uh, my first experience of going into like Dave and Buster's, if anybody remembers that
The
chain,
best.
uh, so it's
One just opened near me.
part restaurant, part arcade, part casino, and it was like I was mad because I was like, okay, I'm glad arcades are coming back because when I grew up, the arcades were the thing. You go there, you eat your pizza or whatever, you play your video games. It was great. But then like, okay, you can have arcades again, but it's got to be a bar, it's got to be a casino, and like all this other stuff
Mhm.
crowding out the games that I like the best, which are just pure games, you know. But I was thinking back to those, even in those days, the golden age, you know, of what I consider like arcades, like the early to mid 80s, probably before the video game crash, and then somewhat after that, when they came back. You always had some questionable machines. You had the claw machines. Everybody remembers those. The claw machines. I remember. I don't know if it was Showbiz, but it was someplace, and it was like they had two claw machines. One, it was the three prongs, you know, and you know you got the joystick controlling it, and it grabs the stuffed animal, and you're getting closer and closer, and then it just like kind of fumbles it, and you're like, son of a you know, you can't do
Mhm.
it. And now you've got people that just like anything else, just like buying the one arm bandit bank, you can buy one of those machines, lower the difficulty level, then make a video saying, "Oh, it's so easy to get this stuff. Look, I can just get it like this, and you know,
Mhm.
subscribe to me, and I'll tell you the secret. You just get it." It's like, no, you moron, because you just lowered the difficulty so that it actually works. Well, there was that claw machine, and I remember I put my money in, my 50 cents or whatever. Didn't get what I wanted. I was pissed off. And they had another machine where it was like a steam shovel, and of course it was a much cheaper prize, but it was like I just went it and got it, and it was like, oh, it was just a more fun way of just buying the, you know, spider ring or the little action figure or whatever it was. And I guess
Yeah.
at the time I thought, I'm just not going to play these again because I know I've had the experience and I don't want to do it. At least
Yes,
skee ball,
but
you
those
feel like
machine, the
skill. Yeah, go ahead.
claw machine and slot machine, they're all both rigged exactly in the same way. Okay,
Hmm.
they are programmed practically to um, pay off. Okay, after a while. Okay, after they gather enough money. So the claw machine start grabbing actually stuff. Okay, after enough money is put inside the claw
Hmm.
machine, you can try to. Okay, with skill, okay, try to grab something with a claw that don't close completely. Okay, but that's luck. Okay, and everything is calculated. With a slot machine, anyway, you don't have any chance because it will not pay off any big win until enough money are put inside the machine.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of things have
Especially
changed.
with progressives, progressives they hit
Uh,
at a certain amount or around a
So,
certain amount.
The progressive
yes,
plushy
the
claw
the,
machine.
the reason why I don't like much talking about gambling is because I worked in a bingo
Mm.
uh,
how we call it saloon hall
Bingo hall.
Bingo
and
hall.
yes.
I think that's what
Mhm.
they call them around here.
So
Yeah.
yes, a hall. Okay. Well, the trick for casinos and all these kind of places is always the same. Yeah, they create a very comfortable place where you want to stay, you don't want to leave. So
Mhm.
yes,
Hmm.
that is the big trick. A lot of lights, a lot of stuff that entertain you.
No clock.
Cheap,
Don't forget, no
no
clock.
clock, no
No clock window.
windows. Okay, good food. You don't want to leave.
Wow. So you create that VIP atmosphere, and people.
Oh,
Eh,
Bohemius
no,
had
you have both. You have,
had a great experience with the food because all the food over here just sucks. Feed you cheap slop over here.
yes, but it is one of the trick because you have very good food there, cheap, by the way, respect other place, and you are entertained just because you got everything there. Like you feel like you're getting cheap food, but actually they're getting money from that. Say in bingo you never lose. Every single game, a little portion of the money goes in the jackpot. Another portion go to the house, so automatically it's like an automatic win. They're just playing with the same money of the same.
Okay.
So
All right. You forced me into it. I I take no responsibility for this. Um,
what?
But Yeah, this,
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
what to talk about.
You're getting us in trouble.
It's the Vegas vacation
You're
buffet.
getting us
If
in
you want to talk
trouble.
about the gambling online, okay, there's a different background when you play online because you can play in any moment you want. Okay, you don't need to go. Even if the place is very good.
Getting us.
This
Yeah.
does
I'll take a
demonstrate how
little
you can
bit.
win at the
What is it?
casino,
I'll
though.
take a little bit of the white, a little bit of the pink. Jesus.
So disgusting. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. If we were ever going to be monetized, we will never be monetized. Okay, sorry.
Of course,
Well,
Not to
I'm
detract
talking
from the
about
good thing you're saying. Go ahead, Bohemyus.
I'm talking about an Italian casino experience. Okay, maybe we have a different way to see it, but I mean, for what I heard until now, the strategies are the same in the casino place.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's I mean, most of I can't imagine it'd be any different how most of those machines work over there from over here. I'd say if you got good food over there, I wish they'd bring it over here because, like I said, unless there's like a third-party restaurant built into there, which I mean, like maybe in Vegas or like some of the casinos over here have pretty decent food. Man, the one that's like 5 minutes from where I live is absolute garbage. I don't know how it's just,
It's not the
Well,
Vegas
they
vacation
bingo,
spot, but
bingo,
go
bingo.
ahead.
You're sitting on a table. Okay, the bingo in Italy got restaurant and
Oh,
casino together.
so yours is an actual bingo hall then? Because like I said, class twos over here are like so. Okay. See, over here, especially in reservation area, our version of a bingo hall, because they want to make as much money as possible, is a class two facility is what they call a bingo hall over here, and they are slot machines, no table games, because you have to be considered a bingo hall. It's slot machines, and when you start them, they have a bingo card in the screen, and their odds are ran on that bingo card. So that's how they get. There's really no difference between that slot machine and the one at a class 3 facility. The only difference is when casinos are usually starting up most of the time, they are starting up as class 2. And so how they get their start and they get their start quickly is they skip that part and they just throw slot machines in. And a lot of companies support class 2 software by utilizing that bingo card. So, and yes, Rob, to answer your question from like forever ago, they do have computers in them. But depending on the company you're working with, they may use some pretty weird jargon. Some companies have a better setup with their slots. Some still use very old school rhetoric and have an old school build. Like I know some places still use logic box like rhetoric, like stuff from like the 1990s. Some people actually have like computer chassis built into the machine. There's a company I saw that had one like built in the machine. They were using Corsair parts, and they had like an AMD Radeon graphics card in there. Like you could open it up, and if you were pretty good with the computers, you know exactly where everything was. But yeah, as far as the bingo hall, I thought you were talking about literally just a class 2 facility. But no, yeah, that's what we consider over here. Some places do bingo, but like they'll just state that they do bingo. Otherwise, they're just a casino without table games. So if you ever go into a casino and it's so small that you could turn around and see the whole place and it's just slot machines, that's a class 2 facility.
Oh.
Okay, because talking about bingo, how was like more than 10 years ago. Okay, and the license for the slot machine was not given to the bingo halls in Italy. Okay, they were working on having the slot machine and all this bingo were engineered. Okay, with a room with a very big entrance that was completely empty in preparation for this for the event of the slot machines.
Yeah, see, I think I don't know how they get away with it here. I don't know if it's just the licensing or how the audits are done
Yeah,
differently. But
different law,
it,
different rules for sure.
yeah, like it is definitely a workaround because I've been told it's a workaround. And when they come in, I think the first question gaming asked them is slot machines, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a bingo hall. Check it out." And like I mean, it's probably more professional than that, but like it's something that I asked, and I was like, "Well, is this a bingo hall? Why do they have slot machines here?" And they're like, "Well, they're incorporated with the bingo card. Every time you hit the button, it literally plays bingo on the side." So
Yeah, I never
that's
realized that until you brought that up. But I had always thought that. I was like, why are there bingo cards on everything in here? But that makes so much sense. I'd always knew it was class 2, but I had never heard it referred as a bingo hall because I'm a big table player. So I know like the casinos that are closest to me, they're all class 2. They're all like but you say they're small locations. The one
ones
that
here
I'm
where I live are small.
the
Like
one that I'm near is the biggest like slot paradise you could think. Like if your thing is slots, that's where you go.
yeah, like the place that I went to, first real class 2 facility I went to was a place called Lucky 77, and it's in Walt Hill, Nebraska. If you look up where Walt Hill, Nebraska is, they've got like I think maybe 1,000 people.
Mm,
And
very
I
predatory
think
then. That's crazy.
I think that's I think it's reservation, and their casino is a little bit bigger than my office, or was a little bit bigger than my office was at first. And then they started expanding, and it's about as big as like I don't know a house. Like it's you walked in, and there was enough room for like a drink station and like a small like vendor to give you food, like sandwiches and stuff, and the rest was slot machines, and you could count them. There was like maybe 20, I think, in there, and
Yeah.
like that was it.
I just looked it up because this place that's about 40 minutes away from where I live, it's Wind Creek Atmore, and there's over 1,700 slots in this place.
And they're still class 2.
Yes, Wind Creek. Look it up. They're all slots.
This is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. But to go to show or to it goes to show because my family we're like this year we're kind of like yeah our resolutions we're not gambling like we're done. And she told her like bunko group that, and all these like bunko women are just like no gambling because they all go to Atmore and it's the crazy. They're like how what are you gonna do? It's bad over here, but yeah.
I used to be into table games like before I officially started. When
Mhm.
it was in my early 20s, first thing I ever like truly gambled with was table games. And that's probably if I ever went out back to Vegas to do anything, if I were to gamble, it'd be table games. Probably like craps or, you know, something like that. But like I said, it'd be for fun.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have any intention of like going every day and
Yeah.
doing it. I think I won 1,000. I learned my big lessons. I think I won like 1,000 or $1,200 once playing craps, and everybody's having a great time. And then you roll a 7, and everybody looks at you like you're the worst motherfucker on the planet.
Oh
And then
yeah.
you leave, and you look at your money, and you no longer have $1,000. So
Well, what's even worse is when you're like known as the this guy's hot, get in, and everyone sets
that's what
out
I'm
like
saying.
yeah,
That's
everyone
what I'm
sets
saying.
out
I
like
was that
thousands
guy.
of dollars. Yeah, it happened to me once, and what the worse than just me happening to is it was me and my dad playing, and right after that happened to me, I rolled a 7 on the come out, and everyone lost like thousands of dollars, and then they're like, all right, here's his pops. Let's see what he can do. And then he rolled a 7 as well. Like, back to back, me and my dad both rolling 7s. Like, mood kills. Everyone leaves. It's nuts. And I was just like,
Everybody tells you either people tell you to get the fuck out, or
yeah,
they leave themselves. Yeah, like
yeah,
it's all superstition. You're bad luck after that.
yeah, absolutely.
Gambler's fallacy. Yep.
Hmm.
And I think that's another big thing that I think sells for casinos is superstition.
Oh yeah.
You've got a favorite machine. Um, But it's really weird because I know some casinos will keep their older machines. We still got older machines in play, but like, yeah, I think Superstition sells really, really well over there. You see people
Like,
touching the screen, or like when they get a certain roll.
I
I've
wondered
seen some
about
people
that.
do some ridiculous stuff. Oh yeah, man, with the bigger newer machines nowadays. Like there was a guy I saw over was it like not one a couple months ago, and we were setting up a star wall, and I swear every time I turned to look around, that guy had two machines going, and every time he hit something, he would touch the lines like 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it was like a workout for him. He'd just keep doing that. It's like a dance.
Wow.
And I swear, me and my coworker left, and we started jigging.
it's pigeons. Like this, it's all
Like,
about that.
so
Wow.
But I do have a question for you about is advantage play like example in one slot it's like, oh, has to pay out by 100 and it's at 99. That's real, right?
I don't know, and I wouldn't be able to tell you probably.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes, it is.
He
Alright,
definitely
but-
knows, and he's not saying for his own job's sake.
Is there a little like do you see a little like red laser light like on your forehead? It's like going away.
Anything with our progressive machines or how we handle the progressives, I'm probably not going to stay on stream. But
Yeah, I got you. I am of the opinion that I don't work in the industry, but I feel like they're real just because I took a cruise recently, and that's why I asked about the cruise, and I hit 2 of the progressive jackpots like that. I searched for machines that were like 99, asked to hit 100, and I hit 2 jackpots, and I was like, oh, this is neat. I'm done.
Anecdotal.
wow.
Yeah, anecdotal. It's the best evidence, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
those
maybe
are
somebody's
those are
fucked
real.
up somewhere. Like, but then again, I'm not on the cruise lines, so like I
I've never
feel
been on a
like
cruise.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the funniest part is that cruise. It was about maybe 1,200 people cruise, and obviously cruise lines they expect people to gamble. However, this was a different cruise because like 800 of those 12,000 or 1,200 people were all like this huge missionary church group who like none of them could gamble. So it was just me. It was like me and like 50 other people in the casino. So we were just like scheming our own stuff up, going to the different machines, and we all knew each other's names and stuff. It was a weird but a fun time.
I feel like the machines, and this is just a theory, right? This isn't anything truth, and that's honest because I don't know how they're I feel like they would be set up differently, for the fact that like you can't leave depending on how long your cruise is. So if you win, you're expected to put the money back in the machine at some point, or give the money back, or some of it back to the cruise. Because shit's expensive on a cruise.
Oh, absolutely. So the fact that
you win 1,000, you're probably giving some of that back. So
yeah, it is weird that they wouldn't if I were to run those machines, I would like pull out the progressives when I get new stock in, like I wouldn't leave my machines at 99, or maybe I just wouldn't care depending on your house edge setting. I don't know. I've heard rumors that like when you're in international waters, you can jack those things up to 16% house edge, and like it's
yeah, and I don't personally know because that's all probably set up by the company. When we set those up, technically, like let's say here if I go to Nebraska and set them up, the casino, especially in reservation, the casino decides the win-loss rates, the progressive percentage, all that stuff. They tell us what to set up with those. We have a default, like every company has a default, but it's not guaranteed to hit based on that default. Once it's set up, the casino can do whatever they want. Like they could just have that machine roll probably, for all I know. Like all I know for sure is that we ask them, "What do you want this?" and they tell us.
So what about the like Vegas commission? Aren't they like locked in? through the commission?
I don't know. I've never set up anything in Vegas. They
I
have
gotcha.
so many. I know a lot of the techs over there, and with other companies, they have so many over there because they
Mhm.
expect to get it done now. Over here, well, we have such a loose deadline. I mean, it's still strict, but like it's not like hey, there's a new machine coming. We need you here this weekend, or we need you here tomorrow, or we need you here tonight. Like it's like, hey, I've got an install later on this month. Make sure you're there on time. Okay. Like I sometimes I get paid to just chill and make sure I don't get any incoming calls. So I am literally like the farmer's tech pretty much. I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I get called for whenever there's an install a state or two away.
If there
So
was legislature that was voted on that every machine or table game has to state their house or their house edges, would you vote in favor?
I don't know.
Wow.
Because
I don't know.
Disgusting, guys.
there are places that have that. I'm pretty sure like different territories across the world, and there is even one in Vegas. Like one casino in Vegas states all their house edges. They have huge plaques everywhere, and I want to say that they
So
have big
you talk about their
success.
win rates? Like
Their house
like how
edge,
much your payback?
yeah. So 6% or
Okay.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like when you
wouldn't mind.
play craps, you know that there's a bunch of different. Like obviously the odds is even money, and like the
Yeah.
roll
Like,
is like
I know
different health.
there's a casino I've been to. Prairie Meadows will do that. They have a plaque usually at every like cashier's table, and they
Mhm.
state their slot payout percentage, which used to be I think 92. I think it's gone down, but um, but that's public knowledge. I know a lot of the reservations won't do it.
Mhm.
I think.
Uh, I would say, like in
That's
Wisconsin,
not
the
full
state, I
knowledge.
believe it's between 80% and 100 for payback. Like the state actually makes it that way, so it has to be between 80 and 100. And most casinos in Wisconsin actually show their payout percentage because if you don't, then gamblers don't want to go there because
Especially
you're afraid to
Potawatomi.
show your payout percentage. That's why like Madison prides themselves on we're 95%, which is like the highest around. All the other casinos, even that's a Ho Chunk reservation casino. Other Ho Chunks are
Yep.
not 95, but they like to
I
pride that
have
one.
I have been there. I've been to
Yeah,
Ho Chunk and Potawatomi and that place is so big and overwhelming at times.
yeah.
That okay, I like that's one of the biggest casinos I've been to in a while since Vegas, of course. But like, um, yeah,
And with you saying the
that
cruise lines
place
being
was
international waters, they don't usually say what their percentages are because they're marketing the cruise, not the casino. However, if you do go on a casino or a cruise, if you want to get a drink package, it's better to just tell them that you gamble because then you can usually get your drink package included in your casino thing, and then you can go get free drinks at the casino, and then you just literally
oh,
walk them back out.
don't you don't they still have to follow the rules of whoever owns the cruise though? You were saying like since they're in international waters, like they don't have to like you don't know
They
what
don't
your
have
pay
to say
percentage
what
is.
their percentage is.
Okay.
So they don't have to. Carnival doesn't have to say we pay 85% or 95%, and they don't have to do what any state says. So if they wanted to have them at 75, they could because they don't let you gamble until you get out on the
Mhm.
sea.
I'd like to know
Okay.
what those.
So they don't have to follow any state line. Like Wisconsin says, they have to be above 80%. You can't have a casino that has less than 80% payout return. If you had a
But
cruise here, you could say,
Carnival's
well,
based
you're
off
not
in like
gambling.
Florida though, aren't they? Or is
Yeah,
it California? I can't remember.
but they have the casinos off until you're in international
Yeah,
waters.
it doesn't
So
matter
that
where
way
you're
Ooh,
stationed
they
out
can
of.
have them at whatever percentage they want, and they don't tell you what they are.
okay.
Players have estimated that it feels like it's like 85%, which is not
Yeah,
that good if you think about it, because most casinos are at like
No.
90 or 94.
No, that's I don't think we've ever said anything that low. So
Yeah.
that's that's pretty
No,
bad.
I don't work for one, so I can say. But
But yeah, if you're going to go on a casino, though, if you want to drink, if you tell them that you gamble, you could usually get the cruise for free. If you have a rewards card at any casino and you gamble, if you show that to Carnival or any other cruise line, they will literally look at how much you gamble and pay for your ticket because they know you're going to gamble on the cruise, and then you get free drinks at the casino. So you don't have to pay for a drink package, and you literally go into the casino, grab your drink for free, and walk out of the casino. You don't even have to play.
Yeah, I had
So-
two jackpots. Go ahead.
Sorry, it was just gonna meme it up for a little bit. This conversation, Kurgan was posting like Vay's vacation stuff. Do you know what this reminds me of? And I don't know if anyone's gonna give this reference, but Kurgan, you watched The Simpsons before, right? And you all watched The Simpsons.
Yeah.
All I can think of is hey big spender, da, na, na, na. What's your tender? I'm sorry, it was just funny. Like we're just talking about percentages and stuff,
Mhm.
and that's literally the thing that flashed into my head.
We're so demonetized.
I know.
Jokes on them. We weren't monetized to begin with. Yeah.
I don't want to flash any Simpsons references on screen because I'll get sniped through my window.
Yep. Well, this turned into a way more interesting conversation than I thought it would be, and I'm so glad that we got you back.
I mean,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Sorry, like I said, we were 3 minutes away from showtime, and I had internet blackout. Nothing was working,
Yep.
and due to the amazing weather we're having here in Iowa, which is like negatives, so we had a line down.
Why you got to be so negative? I know, it wasn't that funny. Sorry, I laughed too hard at my own joke.
I had to wait
Cold.
for my ISP to get their butts down to wherever the line was down at and fix it. And luckily they were able to fix it. Usually it didn't come out this late, I guess. But I'm guessing it was either pretty bad or whatever, but I was told on the phone it was estimated time was supposed to be like an hour to 2 hours, so we got it done.
Here we
Or
are.
they got it done.
Nice work.
So
Yeah.
I'm guessing people complained or it was something serious. Touching something that it shouldn't be touching or whatever. But
So
I'm just glad to be on.
We're glad to have you. So final verdict on the D&D gambling thing. I guess it probably has a lot to do with kind of your overall thoughts or practices on gambling in general, and less to do with just the fact that it's a D&D product.
I mean, yeah, I don't really have a like. I don't know. I don't really have a stake too much into it because if they're going to gambling, I think they're picking a really bad company for it. I also think the fact that like I don't understand who this is gearing to. I don't know. Like I don't really see like a lot of people in the casino industry who would be like wowing for a D&D game, but I'm also not a gambler, so I don't know.
Me, I'm the Shark God again.
Well, but at the end of the day, if that's where they're going, there's always money to be made. So if they're hurting, I can't imagine Hasbro to be hurting. But if they're missing their bottom line, I guess this is one way to do it.
Yeah.
People have already heard how I feel about corporate conglomerates, people like Hasbro and stuff like that, where they're already sitting on ginormous piles of money. And to me, expansion isn't a bad thing. I don't think expansion is a bad thing. I think it's how you handle the power given to you, how you treat the people who work for you,
Yes.
and stuff like that. So the fact that I don't know what was it, we were just talking about this last holiday season, not this last, like maybe a little over a year ago. Now Wizards of the Coast and Avalon Hill lost some pretty decent people.
Yeah, they did.
And the CEOs of Hasbro were having a wonderful Christmas. And if they're really hurting, I'm kind of glad that we didn't cut more people off the chain. And like I said, there's always money to be made in, I guess, the casino industry. But if they're moving to something like, I don't know, iGaming, I think is still a more geared towards older people, I think. But I don't know. but like if they start moving towards like microtransactions, things that encourage the younger generation to gamble, kids, teenagers, people who don't have the full validity of their actions, where like they have to grab money from their mom or their dad, or you know you're an adult. When you're an adult, those decisions are made by you. You are responsible for those actions. I'm not saying you're not as a child or a teenager, but you're still developing. There's a line I think that needs to be drawn there.
You're much more
And that's
vulnerable.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're much more vulnerable to that sort of thing, especially when they flash your favorite entertainment in your face. So, I I think that I think Australia had a rule on this at one point in time. I don't know if they're still going with this because somebody said they had a big problem over there. But there was a lot. Don't they post ads about gambling over there? If I remember, my VPN goes to Australia, and every 2 seconds I get a "chances are you're about to lose" type like situation. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so I think they have a law against microtransactions, but I don't know if there was like I didn't know they had a really bad gambling problem, but okay. Well, there we go. There you have it, folks.
I think it's like I think it's like some sort of psychological thing of what if we let pretty much all of it get as bad as it can in one country, and that's the poor country that it had to be, like, to just make an example out of.
So is that why they have such a big like law and regulation on stuff that's not casino regulated?
I believe so.
Like online poker, or like because like I said, I remember the only thing I remember with Australia was like after the EA thing with Battlefront 2 and their microtransactions, they started incorporating regulations on microtransactions there. I think there was also a thing with FIFA or something over there too, where like this kid like pretty much bankrupted his family.
Yep.
So
Wow.
like literally took his mom and dad's credit cards and debit cards just to try to get like a couple players in FIFA over that crap. And like it was so bad that they couldn't get any assistance. They were in debt and also broke. Mm-hmm. So like thousands of dollars pumped into that game, and they were not given the refund or help from electronic farts. So
dang. Yeah, I don't know enough about. I mean, I'm just thinking. There's research out there that you can look at, and there's regulations and laws and history. I just don't know enough, so I would just say, yeah, if you want to research it, but I mean, as we know, governments don't always do the right things. But
definitely Australia.
But there does seem to be an issue, and people are aware of it.
There's a big YouTube channel, Friendly Jordies, if y'all know him. But he does he's the Australian political / like he talks about there's like a bunch of corruption in Australians politics, and he talks about the gambling stuff as well.
Oh man.
So if you're more interested in that stuff, I would check him out.
Well, and I just want to say this because I mean people talk about whataboutism. Well, they'll say, "Oh yeah, well you think I've got a problem? Well, you've got a problem." Mm-hmm. It's like recognizing that there is a problem is not the same thing as saying, "Well, you're like, yeah, there can't be." Like it can both be true at once. Like, yeah, there can be problems in multiple countries.
So
claw machines can suck, and also casinos can do bad things too.
And this is coming and this is to follow up on that here. What was it? Kerry Hopkins from EA, who was defending this sort of thing in court. And I think this is when Australia started cracking down on just this in general. When EA refused to help that family and referred to these microtransactions as, and I quote, mentioned this before, surprise mechanics.
Surprise mechanics.
So, like, and this was old, but like this was the last time I.
Okay, yeah, there's an article from Game Rant. I can throw that up as a throw it up. from 2023.
Yeah, it
about
still
this.
defends that to this day. I believe they still stand behind
Well,
their loot boxes and ethical surprise mechanics. So
I can't believe this stuff's over 10 years old because the South Park freemium episode where it talks about the microtransactions was November 5th, 2014, and that kind of blew a big divot into the whole microtransaction thing.
does anybody remember the first time video games first started getting those, like, as a big thing?
No.
I can tell you the first game I saw them in, and that was Dead Space 3. The worst game, the worst Dead Space of them all, had them. And they weren't even that big. It was just the fact that back then we were still trying to grasp our heads around the fact that DLC and season pass were becoming a thing. Like, DLC was starting to become like more of a thing that we were coming to terms with, because it was still relatively cheap and you didn't have to have it. It was optional. But the season pass whole thing was starting to come in because you'd pay $25 and you didn't know what was coming with the season pass. It was just you were going to get the DLC regardless. Then EA started throwing in things like microtransactions in the works. And I still don't understand to this day how any of that stuff still creeped through, because people are pissed. But I think it's the difference between feeling emotion and actually taking action. Because people are like, "Hey, are we going to take action about this?" And people are like, "No, we're just going to sit.
Right.
Yeah, we're just going to sit and complain about it at home
and not vote with their wallet."
So.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sucks. It was just one of those things where I think you just let the big company just do whatever they want, and they'll go, "Oh, we're sorry. Here's Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2."
Yeah. I mean,
so
it is amazing though. I mean, companies do listen. They do. I mean, they do whatever they want. They're trying to get money and let them do what they do, right? It's the free market. But at the same time, yeah, smart companies do pay attention. And yeah, a lot of people got, and I'm guilty of this sometimes too, is like I'll complain and not do anything about it. And it's like, okay, what did I actually accomplish? It's like I should put my money where my mouth is.
And to me, evil or unethical doesn't always interpret like dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are smart people in big companies that just think maniacally. So, or they are smart about how they make money to a point to where it becomes downright unethical.
Yeah.
At least I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of like dumb people or people who can't think as like they don't have those complicated plans. They don't put that into action in bigger companies, because it still takes more than one person to do a lot of the stuff that, like, EA has done, or Ubisoft has done, or Activision Blizzard has done. You just see the one guy walk out on stage and take the flak, and then he goes back, out off stage. But
I don't know anything either, but it's just like I always think of like the golden parachute stereotype. It's like you get some CEO or bigwig, and it's like they'll make some decisions and promote these ideas, and it's like it's good in the short run, but then everything collapses. But by that time, they're out of there. They've got the money that they wanted, and they don't care if the company falls apart because they've already made it. Whereas otherwise, it's like it's not in your best interest to do that because you're going to get fired, your stocks are going to go down, you're going to be humiliated. So you're always going to do at least what you think is going to be the best. And it's not an all or nothing proposition. I mean, there's always some level of manipulation, like, hey, I got that thing you want. I'd really like your money. Like, here, it's an exchange. But yeah, when it's just flat out, like, let's introduce something that is really like gonna just just grind down our customers and just like suck all their money up and let the consequences be damned. It doesn't matter if we like lower the quality of everything in the process.
Indeed.
So
sorry, I'm still trying to recover.
Go ahead, Bohemyus.
You go. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Well, if we want to talk about, there's a video game in the Dungeons and Dragons saga that is
Ah,
still going. Started like 11 years ago. There is an MMO and got both right now. Got loot box and season pass.
oh. Is this one D&D or is this something else? What's it
It
called?
is Neverwinter. It's called.
Neverwinter?
It's
Yeah.
a very good game. Okay,
I remember
but it's
Neverwinter Nights. Was that part of it?
yeah. Well, they are connected. Neverwinter is a city in Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh, okay.
so you can hear in many titles the name Neverwinter Alliance. Okay, I believe even in Alliance, they are a game they are recently came out. Like recently, I'm talking about in the last 5 years.
Hmm.
But it failed completely. I believe they had a loot box there too. I'm not
Oh.
sure. I don't remember.
Well,
But this Neverwinter anyway is different anyway because it's an MMO. You can actually
hmm.
grind everything without the need to buy uh, to buy loot box.
Well,
But if you want to speed up,
if you have everything, then the game is over, right? Like the whole point is to grind it.
oh,
Sorry.
of course, of course. But the system is simple. Two uh, every 3 months they change the loot box. There's different stuff inside, so you have to keep grinding this loot box to get the stuff that is inside the new thing, the new mount, the new companion, uh, the new stuff that can help you in the game.
Hmm.
So is this the Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter, or just Neverwinter,
Nev-
like the one on Steam?
you can find it on platform. It's called Neverwinter.
Okay,
Okay.
Yes, it's a
I think I
simple
found it.
MMO. Okay, it's a very simplified MMO in let's say
Should I
It,
pull up a
it's
clip
good.
of it?
It's good because it got good mechanic of game. Okay, you have, but it's Dungeons and Dragons. So you play. You don't need to open any loot box. You don't need to pay anything. It's just free, and you can just have fun. But it's very reductive. I mean, it's a product that is made in purpose by Hasbro to popularize the game because I believe that they don't have a huge population of players. So they are self-sustained because the loot box, but at the same time, I mean, I believe it's a loss more than a gain. This game is there just to keep the IP visible online.
Is it a multiplayer experience?
Yes, it's a MMO.
Okay.
MMO.
Oh,
Uh, check.
okay. My bad.
Never.
Yeah, I think I have it in chat. I think I put the link to it in chat. I think that's what he's talking
Gotcha.
about.
Yeah. Mm, who's yeah? You are playing the demo of. This is a very old demo, I believe.
Oh, okay, I see it.
This is like a year ago.
He's playing the what kind of video is this? Yes, it's the bard is there, so it's more
This is from
recent.
Vagrant. This was 1 year ago on YouTube. I've never seen this game.
Sure.
It reminds me of other MMOs I've seen though. I
It's
mean,
fun. It's fun because is an
PUBG.
MMO hack and slash. So it's yeah. It's very interactive. It's not static like World of Warcraft, where you play mostly on the combination of powers. Here you have just it's just
they got horse armor.
three power three powers. You have an at will that you can spam it, and a couple of at will. And daily power is like the ultimate. So it's yeah, but it's nice. It's not perfect, but it's a way to pass the time.
Sure. You
So
play the
you're
games.
A good.
pro the loot boxes and
I think you can skip it. You can skip it completely. The loot boxes and everything. You can play without it. And there's a mechanic in the game in a way that where you can exchange your wealth, okay, your money that you gain in the game with the currency that you need to buy the loot boxes.
Mm,
So if you play a lot, you don't even need to
that's yeah. I see
pay
what you're
real
saying.
money.
So I think as what to kind of follow with what Bohemyus is saying is, I used to play because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, of course. I used to play Old Republic. So
Yeah.
Old Republic at first, you paid money when it came out. You paid money for it. It then went to a free to play model. And I have an opinion that if you were to do stuff like that, I feel like it would go towards the free to play MMO model, because if you do it right and you don't limit everything on the video game, you still give the player freedom of choice to whether or not they like, hey, I've got, I'm starting a game fresh. Do I want to speed up a little bit, catch up to my friends, or do we all just want to spend that time grinding, get, play through the storyline, get all the way to where we need to be, and then we can start doing the raids and all the fun stuff that a lot of people like to do.
Like the South
I
Park
think at one
episode.
point in
Now
time,
we can finally play the game for real.
yeah, I think at one point in time, Old Republic did do that, and then once again, because it is a BioWare product held at EA, they started limiting things like you could only have so much inventory space when you're free. They had a stupid idea that you couldn't remove headgear. They had they had small
Limited
nuances that
PvP.
would kind of annoy the player.
Limited PvP that you can join
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
couple of
just
PvP a month. Yes.
yeah. So yeah, it's just very limited stuff. But they also offered people, I think, really ridiculous stuff, like you could fully level your character if you paid the subscription service, and paid paid extra money to do this and that. You just have your character fully leveled up. So it wasn't that you beat the game. You could just, it was like one of those things where you could just pay money and skip all the way to the end and just use that character to do raids and whatnot.
Well, that one
The
is
game has a
something they do in all MMO because it's made mostly for the people that already play it. Okay,
right.
and they don't want to level up again another character to 80, 100, whatever is the level. It's a huge grind.
Right. So where I'm getting at with it is I think that SWTOR has a pretty decent storyline. It has more than enough classes. It has subclasses for each character. From when I was playing it, it kind of differs itself a little bit. I don't know about now because it is very dated. It came out in 2010, but at the
Well, the
time,
beauty
it's a,
every class have its own storyline.
yes, and it was a unique experience for me when I was starting to come out of the MMO experience. So, I think if you were to put that sort of model into a game, I think it would fit pretty decently in there. But there are some games that still fit that model in the single player or the traditional multiplayer experience. I do not find it fair to do like I said, the Battlefront 2 thing, where in order to get a certain character or a certain hero to be unlocked for your personal use, you had to spend 47 hours in game grinding just for the chance to get the box to get that character. You weren't guaranteed,
Yeah,
but that was how many hours you had to put in to get the points necessary.
that makes you want to pay the guy to give you the thing.
Yeah.
So impossibly long.
But it's something that they change instantly. Okay, the fact is, it was a huge backlash. Okay, because was
Huge.
like this at the beginning. Okay, but very beginning, after a couple of days, they changed it and they never spoke about it. The fact that they changed everything in Battlefront. In Battlefront, you can grind. It was super easy to grind stuff to unlock everything with ease.
Oh.
They never spoke about it. I played a lot since the start, since the beginning.
See, they
There
listened.
was huge backlash, and they lost a lot of people. But there were people that probably never even tried the game, or if they tried just the demo. And yes, the demo was like this. I was wrong after. I know I'm not exaggerating. No more than a week already, everything was changed completely.
So,
But that goes
Bohemyus,
to
I'm gonna
show
ask you a
that.
question
Oh, go ahead.
because this is a good point of view. But I'm gonna ask you a question. How much did you buy it on release? That's my first question. Did you buy it on release?
And I pre-ordered it, yes.
Okay, so you did the same thing I did. Okay. I foolishly spent over $100 on that title.
Me too. And
Yeah.
was a waste. It was a waste
It was a
because
huge waste.
it was a couple of hours of grind. You could get exactly the same stuff that they give you in the in the pre-order.
I'm gonna say this is where I bring up the customer loyalty example again, because to me it's not just the microtransaction or the loot box thing. And yes, I give people the chance to learn from their mistakes. What was it? A couple years later, somebody told me to come back to that, and I played it. It was good. It was a decent experience. That sour taste, though, was left in my mouth for a very long time. I own both copies of the original. I have a modded copy of what Battlefront 3 was supposed to be. God forbid, we never got that title. And it makes me so sad.
Yeah, me too.
I now have realized there was a Wii version of that title, which I never owned a Wii personally, but I would have bought one for the Wii version of BF3. And then I bought 2 copies of the original Battlefront that EA had, and I bought 1 special edition copy of Battlefront 2. I cut my loyalty with EA after that day because it wasn't just that, it was the double downing and the fact that I went to go refund my purchase and they took the refund away. So I was stuck with it. So I tried to play it and I don't know. I feel like when I sat down to play a video game, it's like somebody sits in front of you and slaps you across the face over and over
Yes.
again. And all the joy just leaves. And then you're just sitting there wondering why you're sitting there playing a video game in the first place. And I stopped. I just stopped. At one point, one of my friends wanted me to play it so bad. He was like, "Well, just if you don't want to play the multiplayer because you're angry at everybody and you want to play the game, just cheat." And I'm like, that makes me no better than anybody else. I'm gonna use cheats. And that's when I started coming back, was when Battlefront started getting toxic. So the game was good, but the player base started getting bad. So I'd go in and I'd get called racial
Which
slurs.
Battlefront you're talking about right now? Battlefront
Battlefront
2, the
2?
new one,
Yeah. No, the
the
new
new or
one.
the
Yeah.
old? Okay,
Yeah, the new
but
one.
because
Yeah, I
if you
came
play
in.
it anyway, it, you understand that after the week that I told you, it was impossible to buy loot box. Well, they block it completely. Okay, what caused that? They had to remonetize completely the game, so they start doing the like they had to do like something for the for I now don't remember why I don't remember. I don't know. They had to do completely new cosmetics, but took 6 months to reprogram everything. So we didn't have the very first DLC. We had the new remonetization of the game. Okay, and it was fine anyway because we didn't have to pay anything. We keep playing.
I mean, like I said, I mean, there are parts in which I agree with you on because I like the fact that they did something with it. At the same time, it was kind of like No Man's Sky for me. There's some games I like when they come back and fix. The Witcher 3 was one where they spent time and effort. Cyberpunk is another. No Man's Sky was not one of them, even though I'll give them the respect that they deserve. They are still updating that game today, and it's wonderful looking. I just have not felt the need to go back to that game. That's a personal decision. That's not out of disgust. But buying that game on release and it being a complete broken mess was not ideal. Also, I felt like we were lied to with how they presented that game. And Battlefront 2. So to me, it was just one of those things where I just felt I did not want to come back to it. But I did anyway. I played the campaign. I enjoyed the campaign because that's what I bought it for. And then realized that the game was multiplayer focused, but had the campaign on the side, much like Call of Duty. So I enjoyed my time with it, but I did not get my $100+ out of that title. And I'm glad that somebody did.
I didn't even play it. The campaign, I didn't play it. My son did.
That's the thing. That's the thing, though, is that if you played the multiplayer and you felt like you got your money's worth after they fixed it, that says something to me that like at least you enjoyed it. But like it's one of those things coming from just a consumer base. I'm super like if I sell something to somebody when they get the product in their hand, I don't expect it to be perfect. I do expect it to be working, and I expect an ethical amount of honesty. You know, you want to exaggerate shit, that's fine, that's business. But like I got Alien Colonial Marines again. I got Randy Pitchford. I feel like I'm giving off references that people aren't going to understand. That's another big thing.
Can I say something about that? So I saw that Aliens Colonial Marines. I did a silly thing. Aliens Colonial Marines was on sale on Steam for like $7.50, and I bought it, even though I already have it on my 360 because I was like,
but that's what that game was worth.
See, yeah, because I knew you had the game and it had all the DLC in it, and there's the overhaul patch that fans have made that fix. I mean, like they said on the screen, it doesn't make a bad game good, but it does fix like all these obvious errors that trip people up, like the AI being broken and all that stuff.
Makes the bad game playable.
Yeah, the graphics, like there was all this stuff that was like turned off because they had typos in the code. I was like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like Aliens games. I'm very forgiving of them. So yeah. Anyway, you got Randy Pitchford. Pitchford did.
Well, it's the same thing with Cyberpunk 2077 when they make a vertical slice that demonstrates what the game looks like and it's not the game.
Yeah, false advertising.
That's a Randy Pitchford moment. Randy Pitchford, they made. Yeah, that too. I didn't touch that game. You wouldn't let me. Nobody could make me touch that game.
I'm a huge Fallout fan, and I pre-ordered it.
Oh, did you get that bad bag? You got that bad bag.
I didn't go that far. I didn't get like the ultra Todd Howard kissed bag. No, I honestly probably would have been funnier if I did, but no, I only got the pre-order like bonus stuff. That's just the normal one, and got let down.
So many people got fucked by that game. On every level.
I just can't believe it was like coming from like I love Fallout, and so you would think anything in that world you would at least appreciate, but no, this has shown me that like it is so it's such a bad game. Oh,
so that's another example of how once again they've done some things with Fallout that they've probably made it more playable for people now. I still won't come back to it. I won't go to it, but the big thing was, if anybody doesn't know, Fallout 76 did everything wrong to everybody that wanted it, down to the beta release uninstalling itself or corrupting itself, so nobody could play it.
Dang, self-destruct.
Yeah, because I think if you pre-ordered it or got the Super Todd Howard edition, you got a 2-hour early release.
Hot hours.
And
Yeah.
some people were like, okay, but the game was so large that even when you got a chance to play it, the 2-hour demo or beta that they released
would be over.
would be broke. It either broke or you couldn't download it in time,
Oh
and
my
it would
God.
they ripped it off. So they gave people extra time eventually after people complained. And then the people who didn't you get a helmet and a canvas bag for like the Super Edition? Because if I recall, the helmet had mold. The helmet started to grow mold on the inside because of the quality, and then the canvas bag was not canvas. And the problem with that is they promised it would be canvas and it'd be quality. Well, they gave you this leather nylon dog shit bag, and they started giving the creators the canvas bags.
That is the dirtiest thing. Is insane. And then on top of that, they spit in our mouths with the Nuka Cola, like the rum. Did you see the dark rum that was just like a plastic bottle mold over another bottle? Oh my God. It oh man, that's why I just like
cheap shit, bro. It's
disgusting.
And it was so bad.
Wow.
And that's the thing is
had no
people
idea.
wouldn't have caught that canvas bag if the creators didn't go, hey, God, like that's the thing is like who in the right mind thought of that idea? Like, oh, we're gonna give the cheap bags to the normies, but the rich creators we're gonna give them the actual bags because it's cost effective. Well, nobody put their hand up and said, hey, boss, don't you think the creators are gonna post that shit on their stream?
You can't talk to Todd like that.
No, you're fired. Get out of here.
Like expose themselves.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It just works.
It's bad.
It just works.
It just works. My favorite song for Todd Howard, and every time it gets played, is "Tell Me Lies, Tell Me Sweet Little Lies." It's perfect. But yeah,
dude. Side note on that song, I for like 2 months I used to sell jewelry on a like a CVC style, like a live stream thing, and we played music in the background, and that one would come on, and I eventually quit because there was some jewelry pieces that were like that, and that song came on a couple times when I was like, these are sapphire earrings that are, and I'm like, tell me lies,
tell me lies, tell me sweet.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a bad time.
Oh, there's like Todd Howard ASMR that comes with that song, and it's fucking hilarious. And it was played because of Fallout 76, and it's God. Oh, and not to mention the immense amount of weird ass fixes that Fallout 76 has come with, down to fucking what was it, paper clips or like nails or some shit, and like no bobby pins. It was bobby pins weighing like way too much. And like the funniest shit that I got, I think I've mentioned this before, is some smart guy decided to find out where Todd Howard lived, mailed him a bunch of bobby pins, and said, weigh these. Like, because I guess they weighed way too much.
For people who don't remember, can you say who Todd Howard is?
Oh, so Todd Howard is the face of Bethesda. I guess isn't he the CEO? He's CEO, right?
I believe so.
But
okay.
Yeah, so he's the face of Bethesda Corporation. He's also very well known during Oblivion's development, being known as the guy who played chess when everybody wanted to play football and all that other crap. So he came in, I believe, during the time of Morrowind's development, and the people at Bethesda did not want to hire him, and he kept applying and applying and applying. He had that go-getter attitude, and eventually he got his position. So, he does have this charismatic aura that everybody likes, and he always wears this weird-ass leather jacket that I think is super out of style.
He does have insane charisma. The fact that he can get on stage and promise something and people will believe him over and over. I fall for it again. Like the Starfield thing. Like I just fell for it with the 76, and he's like, Starfield's gonna be listen. I know I got you with that last one, but this new one, come on, brother.
We don't talk about Starfield.
No?
We don't talk about Starfield. No, I got it for free this time, and like And the only thing that makes that thing good is there is a Star Wars conversion for Starfield that makes everything better and
yeah.
less boring. I've
Less
streamed that a couple
boring.
times. Yes,
Yeah.
because it adds things. It adds things. Plus, it
okay.
adds aliens, alien languages, new ships. There's better customization. You can actually use your ship for things other than just a loading screen. They're adding planets. They're doing all sorts of things. So it's not just a
Really
big empty
sad.
world.
Sad when the best Star Wars games aren't even Star Wars games. They're mods for other games.
Well, not to mention the fact that like people are making the Starfield game better. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't always have to be
Fans are
Star Wars,
awesome.
but like there are bugs and improvements for that game, like bug fixes and improvements that are made by the community.
Yeah,
And like,
people talk about toxic fandom, but I mean, fans are some of the best. Like, they'll take,
Oh yeah.
crap and turn it into gold for free.
Did you
That's
try
another-
Battlefront 2 recently with all the mods?
no, I thought it was like done. I thought they didn't
No,
do any online.
wow. No, the fans create an entire mod with like, I don't know, they had like 10, at least 10 character for each side. They kept going. Actually
okay.
going.
Bohemyus, you need to grab yourself a copy of BF3.
Yep.
Yeah, my problem is the PC. I don't have a PC. I'm playing on console.
Hashtag get Bohemius a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get you an Xbox. We'll get you an Xbox dev kit. There you go. You
Ah.
play Battlefront 3 on there. Although it'll be probably the worst version because it's so incomplete. But you saw me play that on last year. That was the original version. So
Yeah.
the dev kit version.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a community that's fixing that game up too
I'm
from
more-
Revision 7.
It's so funny. I'm excited for Battlefront 3 and Duke Nukem Forever 2001. Like all these like abandoned, like broken, like not complete leaked games that were never meant to be
Oh,
played.
Battlefront 3 is going to come out in November of 2008. Are you excited? Oh, I'm so excited. Wait, it's 2025. We're a little late on that one.
You wait long
That's
enough.
me with Silk Song.
Sorry, what was that?
That's me with Hollow Knight Silk Song. It's never coming.
Oh,
The next Hollow Knight. I don't know if y'all know about Hollow Knight, but
yeah, I've
I
heard
remember
of
Hollow Knight.
Wait, there's not another Hollow Knight coming?
well, they say it's coming, but they've said that since Hollow Knight was released, and it's going on 10 years now, almost like in in a little while.
It's
but
okay. It's like Star Citizen, buddy. You know, Star Citizen is still in its beta,
yeah,
and that guy's already releasing another game. So
yeah, I'm a little more
it'll
lenient
come
since
out.
I know it's literally like two people and then a musician. Like the one guy's the art, one guy's the game, one guy's the music. So like it's like saying the guy who made uh what's the farming sim?
Farmville.
No.
I
Stardew
know
Valley.
what you're talking
Stardew
about.
Valley. It's one
Yeah.
guy. Yeah. So like his next game, everyone's gonna give him all the time he wants because like it's literally one guy to be that talented to make the music, program, and the art is
It's got to do
really
it all.
impressive.
Yeah.
And Stardew Valley is like by far one of the best 2D farming sims I've ever played.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you never played my game.
oh, you have a game?
Yeah, it's called it's on itch.io. It's called Oh Stinky. It's dark in here.
Wow.
Okay, I'll
Dev
stream
in
it.
chat.
We'll stream it. Is it safe to stream?
Yeah, I mean it's literally all it is it was I did it me and my buddy did it for a pirate software game jam thing. Like we've never made a game before.
Oh.
So we tried to make a game. I made all the art. He made all the we worked on the programming together.
Does Amalgamash know about this?
Is he a game guy?
Well, so AshQuest is the channel he runs on YouTube now, but Amalgamash, his original channel, he was always promoting game jams and talking about game development and stuff like that on YouTube. So
Nice.
I don't know if you're looking for people to talk to about it.
Yeah, Man, I have such a passion, but like my mind for understanding like programming software is really bad, so I can't wait. I'm just waiting, itching for that time when, like, I hate to say it, it's gonna be a blasphemy, but when AI lets me unleash my creative like genius into the AI and it like helps me make the game because I can't do the programming stuff. Like it's just too hard for me, but I have so many ideas
Oh,
that I've written down.
Hmm.
Um,
What about making a board game?
We've got an AI man in here.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it is. It
It's okay.
is a little. Just the
It's
programming, just
okay.
the ones and zeros, just the ones and zeros. I did all the art myself. Look at my game. It's beautiful.
I made a game in RPG Maker once, and it was like a Terminator ripoff.
Nice.
It was awful,
Oh,
but
but it was yours. You made it.
I also tried to make a Chrono Trigger sequel,
Sweet.
like everybody does in RPG Maker, but that was fun. I don't think I still have that, but those were the games I've made. I do more coding in I did more coding on like apps and app development. So I did lots of coding for iPhone back when it was like kind of new.
Nice.
Nice.
Play in your browser.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Oh, okay.
one of the things about the pirate software thing is you have to be able to play it entirely in your browser. You won't be able to finish it. It's a little too long, but seeing the death animation or the death thing is I think is funny. It's kind of traced over the you'll see it if you do play.
Plug the title again.
It's in the chat.
It's in the Discord chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I cut that off. Uh-oh, stinky. It's dark in here. And I can click on this link. See, we're all
Yeah.
super suspicious. So we're gonna get rickrolled.
The theme of the game jam was shadows and alchemy. So we made this dude that's just like going around this shadowy dungeon that and like tries to get alchemic ingredients and stuff.
Nice.
It was like 2 weeks. Never made a game, never done any of that stuff, but it works, and that's all that matters.
It just works.
It literally just works.
Fun. Oh, yeah, you can't see that. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, if you want to check it out. So,
That's all good.
yep. Strange
Yeah,
Life will
I
stream
might
it.
show it on stream. Yeah, I might show it on stream.
Do a
I haven't streamed in
24-hour
a while.
stream on it for charity.
No,
Just kidding.
no offense.
No.
Probably won't.
No, you're
I'll
fine.
have I'm not doing a charity stream yet.
Ah,
I have to get that all put together, but yeah, I see about doing one.
there's a lot of things we haven't done on our Twitch. I'm trying to do that community goal thing where everybody can use their
Oh, there
points
you go.
towards some big deal. Of course, it's probably just going to be like, oh, we're going to play an arena battle or something on HeroQuest fans.
Summon the Rancor.
Hey, there we go. Summon Godzilla. I have a Godzilla figure I can throw that. He just randomly comes in. It's going to be like Dragon Strike. It's like, oh, you took too long. Here comes the dragon. It's going to kill everybody. So, it's after midnight here, and we've had a pretty good show. I think it's been great having you all here. I'm glad that we can just do a call out and say, hey, can someone join us on the Rantcast, and we'll get people in. Do we have any closing thoughts? We did not do a HeroQuest Power Hour, but I didn't really have much to say, other than I guess I could get everybody's opinions on HeroQuest right now. If anybody wants to venture anything.
Great.
Yeah, I heard you were talking. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't really like. This is the first I interacted with y'all's talking space and all that stuff. But I did see that y'all were talking about like the newer age, and y'all are obviously going to get more new age people with the new light coming out and all that stuff.
First Light. Yeah.
First light. And I was wondering, are you going to make like a section or like a tag of people that come into the server that are like new to the thing? Because you could probably tag me with that group, even though I'm like kind of before that, but still, like I don't know pretty much very basic level into HeroQuest.
Oh, you mean like a little noob tag that people have?
Yeah, something like that. Like for literally like first lighters or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
You
That's
probably,
interesting.
you probably put a nickname. You could probably give them a
Yeah.
nickname if you want.
Because
For the stream, like,
we have roles already.
his name in there.
Because
We give everybody hero, and it's like a lot of people just never do anything beyond that.
So
But then occasionally we get people say, "Well, can I have Zargon or can I have Morcar?" And so we'll just give them that, and so you get the spoiler channel and you get the Zargon channel. I don't know if I'm using.
But I
the right term.
wonder if it would be easier for some of y'all's like older, more seasoned people to know who isn't like seasoned, because I try to be like reverent and say like, hey, is there a compendium that exists? Like I always think there's
Oh.
probably something that exists that's like
Oh, like you're afraid
that
to
I
ask
have
the
no idea.
questions. Like you're afraid
Yes,
to
exactly.
just
Yeah.
sound
you could
stupid.
do a channel, Kurgan. Like you could do a channel specific to like questions and answer for newbies,
That's a
or you
good
could do
I,
you could
I,
make
I,
another role and assign him that, or you could do a nickname.
I'm listening, guys. Go ahead.
I don't understand why anyway. You need that because I mean we're very friendly. I mean we always answer every single question. We never bash on the newbies. Actually, we're helping more the people that they are asking a question
We
than somebody
we
there.
go after each other more than we would ever jump down
Yeah,
someone's
but yeah,
throat.
each other
Brand
because
new.
we know each other. We know.
Yeah.
Yes, we banter, but we banter between
But
between
maybe.
us. We never bother the new people actually.
Well, and I agree with you, Bohemius, 100%. But maybe what he's saying is like new people don't necessarily know that. They might think
Ah,
kind of like
okay,
I did
they just
when I
yeah,
first.
I can understand.
Let me share a
Yes.
little. Yeah, let me share a little thing. So when I first came to Yield In Forum, like I didn't post for like I don't know, like a year or something. Like I just read other people's stuff because I was afraid like, oh, if I say something, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. So I just won't do that. But it's like that was just what I thought. Like I don't know. I just assumed that would be the way it was. But like you say, I mean, we're friendly. We're gonna help people out. Like there's probably a lot of people that don't try to go into the games or maybe don't even join because they think that they're intimidated
Maybe
somehow.
they interact in the chat because they
Yeah.
believe no,
This is only for people that are
that's sad.
established.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm glad you brought it up, actually. Maybe
Yeah, no problem.
we don't have to have a
I
special role, but maybe just a little section for, like you say, for questions or beginner stuff.
yeah.
But yes, we can have the section beginner questions.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome.
Or something like that.
Always open to those suggestions. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but tag somebody. I don't know. I would feel like with a target on my back. Your target.
It's like, when am I gonna get rid of my noob tag? I've been here for 2 years.
You are
Yeah.
the noob now.
You gotta have 100.
Easy.
Well, it's like in forums, it's like, oh, you get 100 posts and then you go up in rank. Like we don't have anything like that. A few people have boosted our channel with Nitro, but the problem with Nitro and Discord, to say this, is that it's like if they stop paying, I think it just goes away. So whatever bonuses
It does.
you get, like I don't want the channel to be reliant on that because then it's like then there's pressure to like keep paying, and I don't want to put that on
Or
anybody.
I have
every
specific emojis for it.
every person
For
can
Nitro.
just put on like a kind of I don't know a symbol in their name, so they can be recognized. I don't know. I really don't know how we can do that.
I was saying,
Tag
if you want to, and it's less. I feel like it might be less intrusive. The channel, if that makes you feel comfortable, or a nickname. You just use your name and then just put like, I don't know, new or something. I kind of with Bohemius there. I'm just like kind of shooting ideas, just to that. Like I said, the HeroQuest fans community is very helpful, very nice, and he's got a lot of different channels that organize everything into groups. So even if you put something in the wrong channel, usually they're going to answer it anyway, or they will tell you to redirect it, but they'll answer your question.
I'm usually the one that posts in the wrong section. So like, yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
have
was
entire.
more sorry, I was gonna say I was thinking more longevity. Like I honestly thinking long from now, with this new like physical release in
Mhm.
stores and stuff, hopefully with more in the future, I would assume that this would only grow from here and we'll probably have a resurgence of like a ton of people coming in or something.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I, it's kind of staggering to think about. It's like, okay, we think the community is like big, but it's just a drop in the bucket. You know, it
Hmm.
could be vastly huge, and you're gonna have, yeah, people coming in and asking the same questions over and over.
Hmm.
People having the same debates, and it's like, yeah, we can feel cool and like, oh yeah, we'll answer all these questions, but like, yeah, it's it takes on a life of its own. And so one Discord might not be big enough. We might have to go and turn it into a community. I mean, I was looking stuff up to try to figure it out. Like, okay, what if we got really big? Is it like one moderator for every like 100 people, 100 members or something? And so it's like, okay, figuring that out, and then having people that are going to be on like late at night, different time zones and different stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because the more people you get, eventually you're going to get troublemakers, you're going to get bots, you're going to get spam,
Yeah.
nonsense, fights breaking out, people throwing elbows trying to get those Pokemon cards. You can have like, no running, no running.
Yep. We've come full circle. All right. Now we can end it.
Hero Quest. Yeah. So have you ever played, or are you just you're interested, or
I've played. No,
okay?
I don't know how well you are in with my username on here, but I joined this channel a little bit ago. I posted something in the painting, and then I was like, oh, these guys are nice, and then I went from the painting and
Oh
went
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay, okay. I remember you now.
Zargon
I had to think
for a
about it for
group.
a second.
I have a group of like four people
Mhm.
that we play with pretty regularly.
That's cool.
But after we got through a decent amount of that, I went crazy and bought everything.
Yeah. I.
Like I'm in a horseshoe of HeroQuest.
Oh man. Yeah. So you're committed. You're a super fan now.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like, yeah, your name looks familiar, but I couldn't remember. I have a hard time
No,
following.
it's fine.
It's like
You're
I
admin of a billion people. Yeah.
just about. I mean, we have our regulars that show up on the Friday and Saturday streams, and so
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like I get to know you guys who come frequently,
Hmm.
and sometimes I spar with people in the chat. It's like, okay, so I remember those people, but then other people, it's like, okay, I haven't heard from them in months. I have no idea. I don't
Hmm.
even remember what we said to each other, so don't mean to
Yeah.
be unfriendly.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
if my well, since I only Zargon. I've never played like as a
Oh.
hero, so I'm
Oh.
really wanting to try that to get in the mindset because I feel like as a
Yeah.
Zargon and only Zargon, I sometimes struggle relating to my heroes like because I'm on a completely I don't know, like it might sound weird, but my headspace doesn't work the same.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it is a different experience. I love playing as Argon, but when I get to play as a hero, man, it's so refreshing just as a change of pace. And it's
Hmm.
like I go, man, like if I get like punished and like destroyed, I'm just like deserved it. Had it coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've tortured so many heroes. Like, yeah, it's coming
So
back.
next time there's a looking for players, I'll definitely be
Yeah,
down for it.
yeah. Well, we've got Friday. It's turning into a plug for my channel, but yeah, Friday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's supposed to be for 2 hours, but we usually end up going longer. And don't let that
Gotcha.
scare you off. If we have no problem if like people jump in late or like leave early. And then
Hmm.
on Saturdays, it's supposed to be 7 to 9. Rarely can I go later than that because I got to get up. But
Yeah.
we have a good time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll be starting against the Ogre Horde actually this Friday is the plan. So brand new.
Sounds good.
And then Saturday, Jungles of Deltarak. Yep. All right. Anybody else got any? I guess we should kind of wrap up here. It's getting late.
Stay warm.
Yeah, I'm all good. I just trying to make my eyes look less puffy. Oh, trying to look more sick as the podcast goes on.
Oh man. Well,
Sinuses.
I guess the thing now is it's a small, extremely nerdy thing that we're doing, but Hispazargon has a big thread on Yield In about the errata in all the different uh, Avalon Hill HeroQuest releases, and it's been really cool. It's been really helpful. I even hazard to say it was probably helpful for the company to get just like detailed lists of, okay, here's the stuff that seems weird, here's the little typos that we found. But the latest thing is he was trying to have people like come up with a list of all the differences between First Light and the 2021-2022 game system. And it actually says in the book there's no rule changes, but there's a few things that were added. And yet in the quest book you can definitely see that there's additions. So it's kind of interesting how they've done that. They've kept the general rules the same with a few clarifications in them. So probably stuff they had in mind all along. And then in the quest book, they've shunted off the actual new rules. But he's trying to build a list. So I posted a bunch of stuff, but I feel like I just say the same stuff over and over again and I start to forget like what I've actually done. So it's probably a better idea to actually like get citations and stuff because I actually sat down and read the book, which I hardly ever do. I don't just like read the rule book from beginning to end, but it's short and a few things stuck out and I was like, oh, it does actually say you can role play if you want to on page 0. Thanks, Bohemyus. Um, stuff like that. It's like, okay, that's a little detail. It's fine. Or it says like people always wondered about the death saves. Like, what if a hero gets killed and it's not their turn? Can they still use a healing spell to come back? And they're like, yep. I mean, we've always played it that way, but people debated it, and it's like, okay, what did the designers actually intend? You know what I mean? Because as we know, you can always just do it your
Yeah,
own way.
yes, those is Pasargan's erratas comprehend the frequent question and answer because I mean, they never answer officially. I mean, they never create like a PDF with all the question and answer. But we got multiple question and answer from the Twitter account, from Discord. Did
Yeah.
we gather them somewhere those information?
I
Because I think
yeah.
did it.
Well, I think it didn't happen at first, but slowly we've been getting people adding to that thread, and Hispazargon's been updating it. He's not,
Oh, okay, perfect.
yeah, he's not as, I mean, he was super fast updating stuff, but I think, yeah, he's had some other things he's been doing in his life, so he hasn't been super. But I mean, I'll message him and he'll update stuff. So like Doug recently said a couple things because people were like, "Oh, they nerfed lightning," or no, they made it stronger. They made it stronger. So before, like if a bad guy throws a lightning bolt, it basically hits everybody in his path. So it's like he can hit his own men. The monsters get blown up just like the heroes. But it didn't say monsters. So people were like, "Oh, it's stronger." But then they asked Doug, and he's like, "Oh, that was a mistake. It's supposed to be the same as it was before. Everybody in the path of the lightning bolt takes damage. It just is." So it's like, okay, you could put that in there, and he'll eventually put it on the front page. But yeah, it's just like stuff on the fly. It doesn't do the average player any good if they're really trying to find out what all these little tweaks and corrections are. They have to like go through multiple social media accounts and like go through the history. Nobody's gonna do that. Yeah, it's like little kids going up to Santa and being like, "How did the reindeer fly?" Well, I give them magical reindeer food. Okay, cool. And then nobody knows. The next kid doesn't know that. Yep. All right. So we got the first light at the end of the tunnel.
Anybody else got any final thoughts before we close tonight?
Or anything to plug?
No plugs? Right. I mean, I'm pretty natural. You can always catch me streaming at twitch.tv/thestrangebus. Besides that, I got no other plugs. I'm mysterious,
but not delirious.
but not delirious. I'm about to be delirious. This sinus pressure is giving me like the worst headache of my life right now.
Oh man.
I'm all puffy-eyed.
Get well soon.
Fix vapor rub.
Yeah, I'm about to take some NyQuil and fall asleep. That's what I'm gonna
There
do.
you go.
I'm
That's always
gonna
good.
just conk out.
All right, well, take it easy, boys. Stay warm.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
No problem. Bye.
Yep. Have a good night. Okay, so I suppose I gotta be all fancy and get some
Yeah,
Karl
you're
Casey to play us out.
you're driving, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you drive us on out of here to the sunset.
Oh man, I was getting so nostalgic looking at these old episodes on the Strange Bus Twitch channel. Those early episodes.
Twitch.tv/strangebus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, those will eventually be coming to the public. The old episodes.
Oh yeah.
Season 0.
We forgot.
Yeah.
Did we mention the Spotify plug at the beginning? I wasn't here. So
Oh yeah, no, I totally forgot. Spotify.
So yeah, Spotify is in the works. I'll mention it. Spotify is in the works. We are still working on putting the episodes up. So if you notice that like episode 60 is up and it might come down, it's because Kurgan, who is super awesome,
Oh shucks.
and is putting that stuff up there by himself right now. He is starting to put things in order so that it's not all mishmashed and out of order. So you can listen to the Rantcast in order from when it started to the latest episodes. And the latest episode will still be viewable for people who, are just coming onto the podcast and didn't get to catch like the latest episode. So, but that includes the archived episodes from when we first started, and
that's what it looks like now. Not much
before
there
we
yet.
restarted. Yeah.
But it will be.
Yeah, just look up RANTCAST Podcast on Spotify, and we're working. Slow process, but we're getting there. So, and then I was going to wear my t-shirt today, and I totally forgot because I was running late. So, next Tuesday, I'm going to be showing off the merch. So, but we're going to be corporate sellouts with our Pizza Hut box and our Doritos bag.
Oh man, all this product placement's giving me a headache. Here, try these.
Try these.
Get a little different.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, so I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I want to thank Kurgan for taking over as the main host because, I fail to deliver sometimes with my busy schedule or I had technical difficulties. So Kurgan, thank you once again for pulling out all the stops last minute and hosting. So I appreciate you.
You got it, man. All right.
With that, we're all good. So
Okay.
have a good night, everybody.
Yep. Everybody take care. I'm not sure if we need to raid anybody at this point. Games Done Quick is doing retro. I mean,
Is if that's not it, is Vine Sauce online? Because
Vine Sauce,
he gets
UFO
good rates.
50. Yeah.
Well, he's doing UFO 50. Yeah, switch him over there. That's classic. Those are classic games. Well, the fake classic games. But yeah, UFO 50 is nice.
They're retro style games. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll, if I can spell it right, Vine Sauce. All right. Thanks for joining us on the RANTCAST.
That did not.
It sounded terrible.
It sounded like your mic blew out. But that's what we live for here.
RANTCAST. RANTCAST.
Night, everybody.
Night. All right, Karl Casey to play us out.